What is up, all of you amazing, beautiful people out there? I'm your host, AJ. Welcome to Attack the Talk. Yeah. Oh, man. It's the declaration of war, my friends. And we've been waiting for this moment. I know you guys have been waiting. This is something when we talked about season 4, we asked you guys, what are you guys most excited for? Let us know. Q&A. Let's do a poll question. What are you guys most excited for? And overwhelmingly, it was the declaration of war. The declaration of war, and it's gonna be fun, guys. And of course we have we have the amazing Lex, the amazing Zach, and we get to go ahead and deliver it. As a matter of fact, Zach Attack gets to deliver the Willy Tiger speech, and I've been so excited for it, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. You guys know I've been able to just do my moody mysterious voice where I get to talk as he's so mysterious. Oh my god, it's cool, it's fun. But yeah, we're gonna continue on with the story. It's season 4, episode 5, Declaration of War. This is part 2 of our episode breakdown discussion. No poll question and no Q&A for this week. We've been kind of just working over on focusing on the episode for this week. It's hard to go ahead and kind of like think about again. Just good ass questions for you guys. And last week it was kind of just, again, we're building towards this moment. We're building towards that speech. You know what? We don't want to just go ahead and throw out like half-ass questions to you guys. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean less content. We still have
are you guys
much fun news to share with you.
Do me a favor, guys.
And we have fun activities.
Go ahead and buckle in right now, because you guys in for a 3-hour long stream. Like, we're gonna be fucking talking about this damn declaration of war.
We're gonna have to talk about it.
And I hope you guys go ahead and join us and stick around with us. And for the ones that are joining us live in chat, shout out! What's up? Can we get an applause?
Of course.
We have the beautiful Zebra Cakes joining us live in chat. We have our favorite Jaegerist, that would be Jago, Paisa TBH. We also have Kyron. Joining us.
Kyron is also here.
Lexi informed me at the start of the show that Kyron actually has something he would like to go ahead and announce, or some sort of news or whatever it is. You want to take it away, Lex?
Oh my gosh, Kyron, I have been waiting to share this because I've been staring at this DM since we started.
I've been so eager to know. She knows this before we officially started.
Yeah, so before we started, I let everyone know that Kyron had DM'd us or attacked the Talk podcast page individually, saying, guys, I have very important news for the podcast tonight. And I said, ooh, we're so excited to hear.
That's it.
Kyron is having a baby.
Whoa!
Shit!
Hitting that applause button. Already doing it.
Congratulations.
That is crazy, Kyron. Wow. Amazing news, man.
Your own
We have our first Attack the Talk baby.
Yes!
We have our first Attack the Talk baby.
Next Q&A. What are we naming Kyron's baby?
Yeah, next Q&A.
Holy shit, that's crazy. What?
Congratulations, Kyron.
Whoa, honestly, hold on.
Awesome, dude.
From the bottom of my heart, Kyron, huge congratulations, man. That is incredible news, and thank you for just allowing us to go ahead and just
thanks for sharing
be a part
that
of this
with us.
moment, man.
That's beautiful, man.
And I hope you, again, just really understand what you mean to us. And, you are just, a loyal and OG friend of the show and friend of ours. And it's crazy to say, because we literally have never even met you, but we care so much about you, man, and we're
for years, man.
I know.
Literally for years.
You are an OG.
He is like the captain of the Attack the Talk Levi squad. Like, he's the one who wanted to take upon himself for more responsibilities and go ahead and literally give me the social media, TikTok and stuff and all that. But
you need to start playing
as the birth is happening.
He said definitely binging AOT as soon as the baby's out.
Oh my god.
Dude, you need to put headphones on her belly.
Yeah, that's right.
With Volgo Inkafig or with rumbling.
Oh my gosh, seriously.
Just go through all of
you have to play the rumbling while she's giving birth. I think that's
crazy.
Where it goes.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for the amazing news, man. And we love you, and we wish you all nothing but the best, man. And it's going to be just an incredible, new chapter into your life.
Thanks for sharing out
my understanding, it's obviously scary to think about, but it's one of those things where the moment you see almost like a little you, it's just something that just completely changes your life. And it's a moment where, it's just gonna just really just be so special. And wow, man, we're so happy for you, man. It's crazy. And And whenever you come up with names and you're stuck on 4, let us know. We'll put it on a poll.
If you're stuck on 4 names, we'll post on
We'll
poll.
decide on what name to go ahead and go
I know.
with. Joining us in chat also we have Josh. What's up,
Hi,
Josh? Josh says we are live.
Welcome.
Damn right we are. And I'm so happy that you guys are all here. And damn, like hell yeah, that was just such like a cool like. Just thank you so much.
That's really
for letting us
special.
know that info, man.
That is so
we're
special.
all just completely just hyped and excited.
My heart is like full for you.
Wow, that's so cool.
I wish you nothing but blessings and a very, gosh, this is so incredibly scary though.
Yeah,
I wish you nothing but blessings and love and just like good health throughout all this. This is crazy. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Ever need a babysitter in LA?
Yeah. If you ever just want to drop the baby off in the LA area,
oh man,
we might have a babysitter for you.
yeah. AOT High School.
AOT High School.
Attack the Talk Kids trademark.
Yeah, trademarked.
Yep, there you go. Oh wow, that's so cool, man. I feel the same exact way. My heart feels so full right now,
Yeah.
and wow, yeah, that's amazing news. Damn. Okay, cool. Well, we're
All right,
off to a
we're
great
starting
start.
off on a high.
Yeah,
Now
we're
what?
off to a great start.
How do we keep?
I'm peaking too early.
We've already plateaued. Are we on the downfall now?
Well, we'll
Check
see
DM
how it
again.
goes.
Oh my God.
Just wait till we hit the declaration. Then we
Yeah.
go.
Exactly.
Straight back up. No,
you next,
no.
Zach. Holy shit.
You next, Zach.
Oh my goodness.
Damn. Premonition.
Give me some time, bro.
The Aaron Yeager has spoken. That's crazy. Wow. That'd be crazy. Can you imagine if that actually happened?
I know.
I'm kidding. We're just like manifesting just craziness right now. Now let's manifest an amazing show. We're off to an incredible start, and yeah, guys. So stick around. Of course, we're gonna go ahead and of course cover the Declaration of War and give that. You know, Zach's gonna give that a really powerful speech. We get to continue the interactions between. Really just between, you know, Aaron and Rhina. We get to see what's up with that mysterious soldier that somehow just, you know, the moment the production show began and they were like, excuse me, I need the, what is his, Commander McGoth.
Needs his warriors.
Yeah, needs his warriors. And Commander McGoth actually is there, but he's over on a rooftop just essentially ready and in uniform. And yeah.
Read Zebra Cakes' comment.
Uh-oh.
It says Zach is pregnant?
No.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
AOT
not.
baby we're talking about.
That one we'll name Aaron or Mikasa.
Yep, there you go.
Also, Kyron, I know you sent one more DM, and I know you don't want me to read this one out loud, but my heart is even more full now.
Whoa, what? Secrets don't make friends.
I'm literally going to like whisper it to each of you, or I'm just going to show it to each of you.
Okay, hold on.
You're literally young Kaido. That's crazy. You're literally Yamato. You're a girl.
That's so
crazy.
cool, Kyron.
You're a man. My bad.
Hey, incredible. Wow, Kyra, I'm so happy for you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Next chapter in your life is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
Zach?
I'm really, yeah, here.
Me,
You got to
me,
do your
me.
thing. It's okay, it's padded.
Yep. Holy shit. That's so cool.
Many blessings,
Yeah.
big dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Many blessings.
I'm sorry, I have to spill the beans. So Kyron has decided he's naming the child Aaron. Boy
Yeah,
or
that's-
girl.
that's what it is.
Boy or girl, Aaron works. So
He decided that it's going to
There
be
you go.
Aaron, middle name Mikasa, last
No,
name's going to be
he
Armin.
didn't say middle name, but he did say first name Aaron. So it's cool. So now we know the first Attack the Talk child is going to be named Aaron.
Aaron.
It's so fitting. Wow.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
It's just, you know,
That's
there we
crazy.
go.
Kyron can
Grandson
make comments
Aaron.
like that. Dad, Zach, I'm going to be a dad.
Wow.
Last name Zebra Cakes. Middle name Flock.
Hell, do you imagine we just got Aaron
No.
Flock
Wow.
Zebra Cakes?
Aaron Flock Zebra Cakes. Yeah.
That's one username right there, man.
Yeah.
That's-
You know what's funny?
The
Speaking of Flock, though, I do. It was so for anybody that went ahead and saw, I believe Alexia said you posted over on the
I
story, right?
did.
So the three of us, including Zebra Cakes as well, we went and we saw the final attack in theaters, and that experience was really cool. It was cool to go ahead and get like just
Yeah.
that, you know.
I love hearing all of it on the surround sound.
Yeah, it was
Oh my
really
God.
cool. And so the moment where there's the Flock scene where Flock is, you know, doing his little flockish things and he's trying to
Yeah.
prevent, you know,
Your little flocky.
certain things from happening.
Flocking
and then all of a
things up.
sudden, you know, Flock, you know, essentially
What the flock, bro?
Come on now.
Flock gets the Flock out of there. And then we're like, should we go ahead and take a picture and send it to, to Jacob? But we ultimately didn't do it because,
of Jacob right now.
yeah, right there big on the screen, his face is like,
I know.
But yeah,
Highlight of the movie.
Josh is asking, did you guys enjoy the movie?
Yes.
Did we enjoy the movie?
Very much so.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that like, and Josh, correct me please if I'm wrong, but why do I feel like there was like more gore or more like, I don't know.
Yeah,
like
I feel like it was gorier this time around.
yeah, like
a lot less
I don't remember.
PG.
I feel like it was implied maybe when, you know, the episodes, you know, the hour-long final part episodes, you know, were made available to all of us, and I feel like they were more like implied in like cutaways. But I feel like this time we actually saw like actual like death and murder and
I think
Despair.
for me, it looked like the same amount of gore. It just looked more. The whole thing looked crisper and more detailed.
Yeah. So Zebra Cake says, can you read that, Zach?
Zebra Cake says, as someone who doesn't watch Attack on Titan, it had me on my toes.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just really, really cool. And so Josh is asking exactly what?
He said which parts in particular, because the episodes were pretty bad.
That's what
the
I
animation was enhanced.
So
okay,
yeah,
so the animation was enhanced.
okay,
Cool.
that's cool because it definitely did feel like
The
it was
detail
much
was a lot
crisper,
nicer. Yeah.
The sound was just so impactful as you hear it, and then the devastation you just could
I
feel
was
it.
like in the music.
And of course, there was moments too where like I couldn't help but go ahead and kind of hold back some emotions and stuff. You know,
we saw Aaron's child being born.
yeah, we saw Aaron's child being born.
I cried like maybe 2 to 3 times.
It's funny.
Yeah,
Zebra Cakes was like there was that moment where literally like Queen Astoria is giving birth, and she's like, who's the girl giving birth?
She was like, "Who is that?"
Who's the girl giving birth? It was like such a quick scene and stuff, you know,
It
and all
sounds
that.
like a. Oh
When can you
yeah,
miss it?
that's happening.
Yeah. Josh was asking, when did you cry? So for me, I know for a fact the moment I cried was the Hanji moment, and also the embrace that Hanji received from the other fallen comrades, and the moment you hear that
made me cry a lot.
distinct voice, that Commander Irvin voice, that was like I just obviously knew what was coming, and then it was just so. It was so beautiful, and I especially love the moment where Moblet is the one to go ahead and help Hanji up, and just seeing Moblet's kind of smile and stuff and all that, and yeah, I mean,
Moblet.
there was other moments I want to say where when I'm trying to think of when else I got emotional and stuff. Do any of you recall a moment at all?
Yeah, I had like 3 moments.
It might be a similar moment for what was one of some of your moments?
I got pretty emotional too at some parts.
So definitely the Hanji one. That one had me like still wiping away tears a whole like minute later. And then the one that even made me emotional when we first watched it was when everyone's trying to flee for their lives and everyone starts like saving the baby from falling off the cliff.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
just that, I don't know why, that visual and just like the representation just really gets to me. Like, wow, people are actually working together like in pure chaos, like in literally like the most
In the
chaos
end
you
of
can get.
time. Yeah.
exactly.
And they're still like showing empathy. And I just think that was like so powerful. That totally made me cry.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's that baby. We see that baby through the pregnant mother in the beginning. The one that Aaron bumps into, it's the same baby.
Yeah, it's the
That's
same woman.
Yeah, and that's why Aaron's like,
And unfortunately, she died.
I know she died, and then so it's like kind of like
But her baby.
not a funny moment, but like when the rumbling stops,
exactly, Josh.
and then all of a sudden that one dude with the beard is like left with the baby. He's like the musical chairs moment where he's like, oh, shit, the music stopped on me.
I know, stopped on me. So do I have this baby now?
So am I stuck with this baby?
He's like, someone take it, please.
I know.
Oh man, what is Josh saying? I can't read from here.
Josh said it's a good scene because even in the end of everything, people are still trying to preserve the future.
Literally.
Yeah, I love that too. Yeah.
Every second counts.
What is he saying? That over in the top from where we saw. Hey, what's up, Eddie? Eddie's joining us here live in
Hi,
chat. What's
Eddie.
up,
What's up,
Eddie?
Eddie?
Another OG friend of the show. So earlier in the chat, Josh was saying, I think was he
He said
recalling
it was
moments?
Zeke and Armin in the paths.
Oh yeah, that
Their
was another moment too.
conversation,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Even the moment, like for me, obviously, like Armin's like my guy. That's my favorite character, you know, in the series. And seeing the moment where he literally is screaming at himself, and he's just like that, like blood curdling scream that he goes on. He has, and also shout out to Josh Grell, man, for like.
That was a crazy scream.
There's so many
Yeah.
moments where he's like just screaming at such
Yeah,
an
he's
octave,
doing a really good job.
and it's like he's expressing so much emotions. Like even when he goes on to see Aaron, you know, obviously his, you know, his head over at the end, and he lets out that freaking scream.
That's a blood curdling scream right there.
And so I mean, that moment where he's screaming at himself and he's calling himself like just an absolutely pathetic and stuff like that, there was some I mean,
It's
one of my moments, especially the first time I watched it, was watching Jean and Connie.
Oh, at the end, as they're kind of like they're
embracing each other, like, all right, partner, I guess this is how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of at like a mild cry, pretty much anytime there was anyone fearing for their lives.
Yeah.
Like anytime there was anyone, like, obviously that's pretty much the entire movie.
Yeah.
Because the rumbling is happening. But anytime I would see like a family together or like just anyone like genuinely fearing for their lives, I felt for them so bad that I don't know what's been going on. I've been extremely empathetically emotional lately. Like I'm just feeling everyone's emotions lately and watching that movie. And obviously when you're watching a movie surround sound, like you're like in the movie, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, anytime anyone was like fearing for their life or like, trying, like pretty much finding a way to like push through, like I was just like, oh my God, like I totally feel for them. Like I don't even want to imagine what that, like I literally was just like, I don't know. I was so empathetic to these drawings. I don't know what was happening.
Yeah.
That's how powerful Attack on Titan is. I just was like I was constantly like getting choked up throughout the movie.
Speaking of power,
it's a tough pill to swallow. Yeah.
I was getting so like that moment where our past Titan Warrior friends decided to go and help out in battle. I got so fucking hyped again.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And it's like we go ahead and we see them, and then obviously they're able to go ahead and do what they do because of the help with the past, Titan users that we come to know.
Yes.
Still really exciting to go ahead and see all the many different previous Titan, just the many different Titan forms and stuff, but
it was very nice having those a lot more crisp too.
Yeah.
Those wide shots. There's going to be a lot of Titans and shit to look at.
Josh says, I don't understand how people can support the rumbling after seeing those scenes, Lex. Unjustifiable.
Yeah.
Jacob, do you have anything to say?
It's been awfully quiet since then.
But another moment, obviously, watching and seeing was that end scene, right, with the three characters, in the theaters and stuff and all that. And
the after credit scene was so
that after credit scene was really cool, and I was like just eyes wide open, trying to go ahead and see any little Easter eggs, any little stuff, anything I can go ahead and notice. And why
there was a lot.
Why do you have to do Marco like that, man?
I know. Why do you
do Marco
everyone
like
else
that?
has like a cool, normal future.
Yeah. Kyron's asking what question?
He said, was there a difference in the movie from the anime ending wise?
So to my understanding, there was some additional footage, but as you watch it, and for anybody that's watched the final part 1 and part 2, for me, I can't say that there was something that I specifically noticed that was really different. We talked about a little bit earlier where it seemed like the animation was much more clean looking.
There's a lot more detail we could see because of the cleanup in animation.
Yeah, and I felt like, and I talked about it again earlier, I felt like it was a little bit more like brutal and gory.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't remember things being so fucking devastating. But also, you can hear like the crunching, and you can hear just like the sound.
I think it's
the
just
squish
like
and just like
really good quality like surround sound, and then they enhanced all the animation, and everything was clearer.
Yeah. Josh says same ending, just final scene add on. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess it was just an additional final scene.
Splatter. I feel like because like I remember one scene in particular that I didn't remember from watching it the first time. It was when one of the colossal titans from the rumbling, its foot crushes a group of people, and when we were watching it, like a blood splatter came onto the screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like
I didn't
there's
see
like
that the
almost
first
like
time.
Cutaway moments where it's like it's off screen, but it's implied that literally somebody just got fucking like just squished,
Yeah.
Maybe it was just because like maybe it's when you're watching it over on whatever kind of like screen that you're watching on here in the theater, it's like it seemed like it's, I don't know, you're getting
at a larger scale. Yeah,
maybe, but. Yeah, and so Kyron, the final scene that they add at the end is an after credit scene, and it's really cool. There's even like a funny little play with words too, with the 3 characters. They're kind of talking about, you know, the series itself as like
I
almost
thought
like
that
fans.
was so cute.
And then they go ahead and they kind of hint at a potential, like, you never know, maybe the sequel or whatever and stuff, you know, or
I know.
And you're like, don't you play with us? Like,
I know. Don't you go around saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you don't mean it.
I want to say too, Jacob responded to Josh earlier. Dang, I feel targeted. Okay, here, I'll lay it out. People fucked with Aaron, and he killed everyone. I don't care. He's the MC. It's fiction. I root for Light, Lelouch, everyone. Shout out to the mastermind MCs. They have my heart.
There you go. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What does Kyron say also? I don't
want to be that guy, but it sounds like they're milking it. Lol, I have to see the movie.
Yeah, the thing is though, is that like when you think about, does it make sense to go ahead and watch it in theaters? I mean, you can go ahead and kind of
wrong.
You can go ahead and you know, either justify it or you can, you know, say it's not like worth it. I mean, obviously, theater ticket prices are insane, you know, and all that. But I will say, the actual like theater experience was amazing. Even just if it's something that you're very much familiar with, which we all are, you know, and again, you know, Zebra Cakes was able to watch it from a whole new lens and stuff, which is really cool to go ahead and kind of see her reactions and to try to explain a little bit as far as what's kind of going on. But just being fans of Attack on Titan, like that experience is something that I'm very glad that I was able to go ahead and just like see.
Too.
You know, again, just seeing on the screen how crisp and everything is,
And like
and just
fully appreciate the art.
Yeah, that's a great way of also putting it. We're really just appreciating it. I mean, that's what we're doing here. Like, this is literally our like weekly book club where we go ahead and we get together.
This is AOT Bible study.
This is the AOT fan club.
Like we talk about, you know, just obviously, you know, each episode, and we split it in parts, and we focus on, you know, a lot of the dialogue and stuff, and the characters, and we have this appreciation for this anime. And so when you have that appreciation, right? Like, you go ahead and you see, even it's just like a 2-hour long episode, the finale over in theaters, like, to me, justified. Like, yeah, they're probably milking it, whatever, but I'm glad I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad I saw it in theaters.
It was really experience. Cool. Yeah, 100% job.
Kyron says, "Oh man, TBH, I don't want to go watch it, but."
I think that's Eddie.
Oh yeah, Eddie says, "Oh man, TBH, I don't want to go watch it, but some theaters in OC aren't showing it, at least in that area."
Yeah, I guess it's select theaters.
And
right?
Kyron said, "Literally, LOL."
Yeah, select theaters.
He said he meant to say, "I want to go watch it." Eddie said Eddie says he wants to watch it, but they're not showing it in some of the theaters in his area.
Yeah, and that's something that's tricky too, because even for us, like, you know, it wasn't necessarily a theater that was. AMC. It wasn't right around the corner for us, but I mean, it was an AMC where it was, you know,
my second most used one.
It was drivable. We were able to go to that one and enjoy it and stuff. It was cool. We got lucky.
Lost myself. Punta Hills off the 60. That's where I vibe.
There you go. If you want to find where Zach is on weekends, there you go.
Yeah. Meet and greet.
So anything else in chat that we're missing? Sorry, I really can't see.
Also says the theater experience with
better.
The experience is better with sound and visuals.
The theater experience is better with sound.
I gotta get out of the system now before I do the declaration.
With the sound and visuals, it's always better.
Yeah.
LOL.
Yep.
AMC.
Yeah. Does Jacob say it wasn't here, so I'm not traveling for this?
So I'm not traveling.
70 miles away. Yeah, that's I understand that.
Yeah. 70 miles. Yeah.
It was funny because when we went ahead and we got into the theater, it was just literally just like our group. It was just the 4 of us, you know. And then for a moment, you know, we're kind of like, damn, cool, theater to ourselves. Hell yeah, I took a picture and everything and stuff. And I'm like, I even asked, like, you know, the group, I'm like, so when should I start streaming? You know, and all that, just so we can go ahead and I'll go live, you know, over on Twitch.
How long do you think it'll take for us to get taken down?
Yeah. That'd be crazy.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny when we walked out, especially after the after credit scene. It's so like surreal, like having the ending of a movie and of your characters walking out of a movie theater.
Yeah.
And then that's the last thing you see, and then you're walking out of the movie.
But also, with, like, in a way, like, we kind of like almost represent the characters.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like, I'm walking out as Aaron, you're walking out as Armin.
I was gonna say Zebra Cakes was like literally as we were walking out, or no, even as they came up. Yeah. As they literally came up on screen, like Zebra Cakes was like, that's really you. What you saw, like Goth Mikasa.
Yeah.
My love. And like, it's really you. Just like when we were walking out, she was like, why was that literally like you 3? That's literally you three walking out of the theater right now. That's you three.
Yeah. I don't know, it was cool.
Right.
Except just swap Armin and Aaron's.
Like kind of like the aesthetic, huh?
Yeah.
Was it the personality? I felt like the personalities kind of matched you in a little bit ways where I feel like, Zach can go ahead and really be like very logical and stuff and as well
true.
and talking about certain things. And for me, I'm just like,
Got great battle
I'm just
IQ, baby.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm just glad I was able to watch it with you both.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I just hope those three friends are real somewhere. And we all looked at each other. We're like, wait.
I know, seriously, we're like, huh?
We were literally doing the Spider-Man meme. We were like, wait a second.
It's cool. You know what? Really, what it is it's just destiny. The three of us were just meant to go ahead and do the podcast about those three characters.
We're literally them reincarnated.
There you go.
Take that back.
I'm literally Mikasa.
There you go. If I'm Aaron, I apologize for whatever I'm going to do in the future. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you're that universe, Aaron.
It's going to be like
put this
it's going to be
genocide.
It's going to be genocide, but it's going to be genocide over on this podcast and be like, all right, sorry guys, I'm ending this podcast now
Yeah,
or
the
something.
podcast, yeah.
Nah, we're not ending the podcast, guys.
No, dude, the genocide was the beard.
rumbling of
I know,
the podcast.
Genocide was losing the beard. That was
I know,
genocide.
seriously, there you go. Yeah, cool. Anything else in chat we're looking at?
Jacob says, I want a Roger movie. I'll go to another country to see that. Roger better than Luffy, to be honest. No, you're wrong.
Wow.
Kyron says, that's cool, to be honest. Well, that's weird because Mikasa loves Aaron. LOL.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but they like
sounds just like siblings,
no one
right?
could say romantically.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I mean.
they were never
It
romantic.
never was romantic and stuff, I mean, I'm pretty sure if I did what I was going to do and I was getting ready to say goodbye, then I think that, my sister would be very, very sad to see me go.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't be buried next to him, but
Yeah, what does Zebra Cake say?
I spent the whole movie rating Titans as hot or not.
All right, put you on a spot, baby. Which Titan was the hottest?
Which one was the hottest?
Freddie Mercury.
She's like, I swear she's gonna say Annie. I swear she's gonna say Annie.
Oh, there you go.
That's my bet. My bet is that the hottest one is Annie.
It's Annie's, yeah, female Titan.
It's funny because when she came on screen, sorry, Zebra, because I'm gonna put you on blast for a little. Yeah, Annie. I'm so right.
There you go.
I'm gonna put you on blast for a second. She was like, why is Annie's Titan like hotter than Annie? She was like, why is, and I was like, okay, well, you know what?
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Also, Aaron was snatched. Armin's too. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't remember Armin's Titan being snatched.
She didn't get to see Aaron's like original Titan.
No, but I feel like that one's a little bit more kind of a little too barbaric and stuff. I feel like if anything, Aaron's final Titan colossal form was
With
one of those
the
things where it's kind of
long
like,
hair,
okay, whoa. And then
He had death metal hair in this movie.
yeah, and I also like Zebra
He
Cake's
said
reaction.
Peak looked anyways.
Yeah, I was gonna say the moment that she went ahead and she saw Peak as a character, she's like, "Wait, that's Peak?" And like, "Okay, yeah, that's Peak," because obviously, Zebra Cake's familiar with the characters based off of
What we
go out and
say,
say and we explain. So it's cool for her to go ahead and be able to see the characters actually on screen. So the moment she saw Peak, she goes, "Oh, okay, that's Peak," and stuff, and then so on and so forth. But
I remember telling her who the card Titan was.
She saw the card Titan and she was like, "Oh." Like, what the heck did this guy say?
Peak.
Thick. Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny because she was like, obviously she transformed and like we don't see her we don't see Peak transform. We just see the card Titan come out when the time is ready.
Yeah.
And
Josh is asking about
before it disappears, he goes, "You guys don't believe that Aaron and Mikasa had romantic love for each other?"
Most definitely. Yeah,
I do.
there was, but as far
They
as
never got
really
intimate.
this
I'm
reality,
talking about this universe.
This reality, then yeah, I mean it's just more of a brother. It's a brother
actually,
sister love.
Yeah.
100%.
Fun fact: Mikasa is just
I don't
like
know
a
if you
praying
know this,
mantis.
Josh, but I'm taken.
Yeah, me too. But obviously Peak's card Titan comes out, right?
Yeah.
And we watch her jump around for a little, and Zebra Cake leans over to me, and she goes, "So who is that?" And I was like, "That's Peak," and she was like, "What?" And she was like, and I was like, "Yeah, like the pretty girl with the long dark hair. That's Peak." She was like, "Why did they draw her like that?"
What is she saying in chat though?
She said they could have drew her in any other way, like any less of a jaw wouldn't have been a big deal. And she goes, "They did her so dirty."
Yeah, exactly. Jacob, he's answering Josh, right, in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. But like, bro, sometimes you got to stay humbled and get rumbled.
Get
you know?
rumbled.
That's a crazy slogan.
Oh man.
Josh says, shaking my head. Eddie says, LOI sent Zach the real life Mikasa.
Wait, what?
Pulling it up. I'm pulling it up.
And Zebra Cake says, Peak looked like Quagmire.
Quagmire.
Yeah, she was kind of wild.
Actually, believe it or not, they actually
Oh
kind
my
of like.
God, that's really good.
Oh wow, what the hell? That's kind of
Real life.
that's
Let me
crazy.
see the piercing.
But they
She got all
the first Cart Titan that we see, right? In what is it, season 2? Mm-hmm. That Cart Titan is definitely like uglier
Oh yeah.
than what they end up doing for Peak over in like season 3 and so on. Right? We see the Cart Titan first in season 2, right? Or no?
so.
Is it the end of season 2? Or is it just season 3?
The end of season 2, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I
because
could've
that's
sworn-
when he gets yes.
The original Peak was gonna be a man.
That's
Yeah.
true. Peak was originally supposed to be a man.
So
Quagmire.
yeah, exactly.
The face is more pushed in.
Yeah, I feel like the first
Season
Cart Titan
3.
that we see is like it looks different than what Peak ultimately is and looks like in her
Josh
Cart
says
Titan
that
form.
the Card Titan was first appears in season 3.
Season 3, okay.
Okay.
I didn't know if it was at the end of season
I
2
think
or
it
not.
was confusing.
I know season 1 is
Jeez.
obviously like season 2 is the female Titan. Season 3 is when we go over and we're gonna reclaim Shiganshina. Season 1 is when we find out about Annie, right? Or no?
No, season 1 is Annie. Season 1, because season 1 ends, remember, with pretty much Annie getting defeated as a...
Season
as-
1 ends with that, and then season 1 ends with the Titan over inside the wall.
Yes.
Right,
Season
okay.
1 ends with we
Yeah.
find
And then
out that Titans
season
are in
2,
the walls.
remember, it's a shortened season.
It is a shorter season, and it's pretty much...
Is that essentially like the Titan, like
The whole-
the traitor reveal? Is that what we're kind of building up to? Or is that in season 3?
Do we get Kenny in season 2? Or is Kenny
I feel like Kenny's season 3.
It's Kenny season 3.
When is it very like government, military, police?
Yeah, I think that's
Is that
season 3.
3?
Yeah. Season 2 was when we first saw the Beast Titan. Okay, over at Ugard. Okay.
Was that just like exploration?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember season 2 exactly. I remember it
Yeah,
was
season 2 is the Rhina Bertold. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I get. Okay, season
Okay.
2 is you traders. That's that.
Okay.
But Peak has a more elongated mouth. Quagmire.
Quagmire.
Season 3, part 1 is the uprising. Part 2 is the battle. Got it.
okay.
Got it. Okay.
Got it. Cool. Thank you, Josh, for all the insight. You know that we always appreciate it. And
Got that shit on deck, bro.
Alrighty.
Guy in the chair.
So now's the time where we go ahead and we say what we've been up to, and of course, all of you in chat, let us know what you guys have been up to. Anything fun that you've
Yes,
done this
please.
past week? Obviously, Kyron gave us again some incredible news at the start of the show. For Eddie, who just joined us and doesn't know, we're getting our first Attack the Talk baby. So yeah, crazy news. Kyron is
Pregnant.
he's
Kyron's pregnant.
Yeah. So congratulations to Kyron. And for anybody else again that wants to share some good news or let us know what you've been up to and how you've been, please let us know. We're just hanging out, of course, as friends here. Did any of you go ahead and do anything fun this past week? I know you said you were going to go snowboarding, right?
I did.
Yeah. How was that? That was fun, right? You're still here, so obviously now you know.
I didn't die.
You didn't die.
Bruise a rib.
Oh, you bruised a rib?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. I'm not going to the doctor for it, but I'm pretty sure I did. I was going down slope. I went to go stop. I hit a little block of ice. I landed because I was looking forward. I had my hands out. And I landed on the back of my hand, and my elbow pushed into my rib and knocked the wind out of
Oh,
I
I
hate that
see.
feeling.
Yeah, and then I just laid there for a bit, and I heard my buddy laughing at me, and then I sat up, and he goes, "Are you good?" I was over here just taking pretending like I lost air. He's like, "Got the wind knocked." I went. He goes, "Okay, I'll see you in a
man.
bit." Then he just got up and took off.
Yeah, it's not a fun feeling at all when you're
No,
literally
it was
grounded.
okay though. It was a good time. The whole trip in Big Bear was awesome. It snowed on Thursday, so there was a good hefty amount of snow when I got up there. The Airbnb was awesome. They had a jacuzzi, they had a pool table, they had a whole poker set, they had a foosball table. So we stayed busy. We had 3 dogs with us too, so they kept us
nice.
busy. Yeah, they all got along pretty well. Come to LA, let's go, bro. Me, you, Eddie, let's go up there, go hit the boards, bro. Let's go sloping.
Hell yeah, man. That's cool. I'm glad that you had fun. I'm glad that you obviously were safe. With the exception
Thanks,
of,
babe.
Everyone's just assumed that Zach is pregnant now.
Now it's mine and Kyron's baby.
Yeah, that's the Attack the Talk.
What else do we got in chat? Anybody saying what they've been up to? It's just kind of congratulations.
Josh says was killing. Wait, I was killing. Yeah, I was
waiting for
chilling.
Marvel Rivals or something.
I was chilling in the fashion district for a day.
Did you get a street dog?
Damn.
He was in LA last
Who
month.
said that? Josh.
Josh.
Oh shit.
Wow, TFTI.
Yeah, I
know.
I would have
That's so
gone done
cool.
some clothes shopping.
Probably walked by each other or something.
Yeah, that's so cool. What's going on up there? Oh, I see Kyron's thinking, Eddie.
See, now we're all gonna gaslight him. Ah.
No.
Fuck yeah, dude. It's so cool.
Yeah, they're all talking amongst themselves.
Why is it? Why do I see
Spreading lies?
Oh, I love spreading lies.
She said Kyron's pregnant with my baby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You both make a beautiful couple. My
snowboarding
ideals
was
kind of
cool.
changed to what watching that kind of crazy, but like that's how it is. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like your quirk, isn't it? Like you're able to go ahead and almost like absorb. You're like, yeah, you go ahead and you, when somebody touches and like, wait, Blackbeard doesn't have that, right?
What?
So he can't just fucking start stealing powers, right? Based off of personalities and stuff, you know?
That's a theory.
It's a theory.
The theory is he has 3 skulls on his
Yeah.
flag because he has 3 personalities.
I'm not trying to go ahead and deem Jacob as Blackbeard. Right as the Blackbeard theme fucking plays
I know.
too.
I have it in the background.
Oh shit.
5 feet apart because they're not
But
gay.
that's a pretty
Fuck yeah.
cool quirk.
But then how do we get pregnant?
How do we get pregnant?
It's surrogacy, right?
Yeah.
Cerberus.
Cerberus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cerberus.
You know? But yeah.
Speaking of Cerberus, that's what
Oh yeah, let's talk about it.
that's what we did this weekend.
Yeah, what did we do this weekend?
Oh,
You, me, and Zebra Cakes.
yes, we went to a dog park with Nico and Blue.
Yep.
And I'm very proud of Blue and Nico.
Yeah.
They're very brotherly. I love it, actually.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. It was fun.
And this is Blue's first time at a dog park.
And not only that, but he was over in the large dog
He wasn't
den.
a large dog den. Yeah, he was in the large dog section. And I will say, Blue's only 30 pounds. You know, he's larger than a small dog.
He's like large for a small
medium
dog.
dog.
but-
Yeah, he's large
yeah.
for a small dog, but he's a good medium. He's like the perfect medium dog.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, there were like huskies and like golden retrievers, like
Yeah.
Nico, and like German shepherds and stuff there. And you know, they're a lot taller than him. Blue's a very low to the ground guy. He's pretty much the size of a corgi. And there was this one dog that looked literally like Cerberus, but
Yeah.
like one head, obviously. But no, he was a 3-headed dog, right? No, it was like this big black dog with a chain collar that didn't even have a name on it. It was just like chains. I was like, cool, you're hardcore. Who's your owner?
That's a street husky right there.
Yeah, what's happening? All beautifully like jet black, like, and took a liking to Blue so much that he would not stop licking my dog's penis.
Yes, it was honestly
would
starting to
not
get
stop.
uncomfortable.
It literally was going on for like 20 minutes. Like literally Blue was trying to like hide in between legs and like
Yeah.
we're trying to run away. And the moment that Blue let out a little yelp of help, Nico immediately intervened.
Immediately went ahead
Nico was
and
like, my
started.
friend is getting
Yeah.
touched.
Leave my friend alone.
I know.
Literally, he started barking the moment that Nico heard Blue whimper.
Yeah.
And then Nico was barking at Cerberus.
Yeah,
and then
Cerberus.
there's a moment where, you know, like Cerberus backed away. The next thing you know, Blue was like hiding behind Nico.
Yeah.
So then anytime like Cerberus kind of get a little closer, you know, Nico would go ahead and bark and make sure that Blue was okay and stuff, you know. So it was really
Yeah.
cool. I'm very, you know, definitely proud
brother
of Nico.
Here is Cerberus.
Blue's bisexual.
Here is Cerberus in action. And there's Blue's reaction to him.
Oh, jeez. He's like, get him away from me.
Yeah,
so
honestly.
that's Cerberus.
Yeah.
That is a big dog compared to him.
Yeah, 'cause Cerberus is bigger than Nico.
Look at poor Blue. Look at his eyes.
Aw.
He's like, I don't want to. It's just kind of scary.
Jacob, he's not gonna be stronger than anybody, bro. He's
It's crazy. So it was fun, especially as like dog owners and their dogs started leaving, and then so there was a moment where we're like,
Blue was the only one in a cute shirt.
We were like king of the hill status. We were like full on perched over in this hill, and we're just kind of claim that as our domain.
Yeah, because the dogs didn't want to leave their antisocial corner.
Yeah.
So we were just in this one corner.
Yeah, and it's funny because anytime like any of the dog owners like over towards like the other part, like I guess over towards the like down the hill, but they're throwing like the toys or whatever, and in the direction of the hill. Blue and Nico would go ahead and kind of like start getting a little bit closer, and they would start doing their boo, boo,
yeah,
boo. But they weren't close enough to actually interact with any dogs.
Yeah. They were too afraid to actually get close enough. And there was times that, they're throwing the ball, dogs are running, like sprinting with joy to go fetch. And there's a few times that Nico and Blue like run up to be like, well, that looks like fun. Oh, wait, I have to socialize. I'm going to go back.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, that looks like fun, starts running. And then the moment that they get within like 20 feet, they're like, never mind.
Yeah, it's true. Zebra Cake's also reminding us too.
We also had a biblically accurate angel. No, we literally did.
Yeah, there was this like...
She was keeping the peace.
Like a snow sled dog. So fluffy, just like this white,
pure
majestic fur.
Just a cotton ball. And like super clean, literally just walked in with a smile. Yeah. And he only showed up whenever there was conflict.
Yeah.
Like literally there'd be any time that peacekeeper. Like Nico and another dog would be like arguing or something, or Blue would be, scared and running around getting chased by a dog.
Yeah.
This beautiful angel comes in and is like, wait, have peace, guys.
I know.
Wait. And like people would, and like the dogs would stop. It'd be like, what the hell?
I'm telling you, bro, the
angel?
way the dog would just go ahead and kind of just like very like majestically prance.
It literally didn't look like it was hitting the floor.
Would just kind of like
it was like floating.
And it would just look at the dogs, and you can almost hear the dog saying like just please, no violence or something,
No violence.
Stop
please.
fighting.
Yeah. Please calm down.
Yeah, it was
literally like floated. Like even the way that dog pooped was like angelic.
It's funny because the dog pooped, and then the dog's owner went in and lifted up the tail and did.
Yeah, the dog's owner lifts up her tail because the hair is just so long and so fluffy. Yeah. Like, hey, I gotta keep it clean. Lift up that tail, girl.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So, yeah, it was fun. The dog park was definitely fun.
It was a beautiful, beautiful day with some beautiful dogs. And I'm very proud.
Griffith for real.
I'm very proud of Blue, and I'm proud of Nico. I don't think they'd mind doing it again.
Oh my God, putting Nico on blast now.
I think Nico's been having some shit attacks.
Yeah, he's been having diarrhea. Unfortunately. But
what's going on, bud?
Today was a little bit better. This morning he woke us up a few times to go ahead and so when Nico really needs to go, he'll go ahead and you hear him crying.
Yeah.
Like
I have to piss.
It happened like at 2:30 in the morning, and then again at 5. And they attack on shit. And then so to take him out, and then it's just it was just bad. He had the runs, and
poor guy.
Poor baby had an upset stomach.
We're wondering, like we didn't change his diet. Like what could it be? And then well, turns out that it could be this kind of like CBD oil that we've been getting to try to relax him throughout the day. Whenever me and Zebra Cakes have to go to work. And I don't know, maybe it just doesn't. Yeah.
It's just like a new.
Oh no! Now you're putting me on blast.
Oh no!
So I'll explain. Yeah, this was. I'm telling you, if you both would have seen it, any of you would have seen, guaranteed you would have laughed. I even was like, I had to chuckle at myself. I was like, that really just happened. But so yeah, Zebra Cakes went ahead and she ended up buying like kind of like this cute little like love seat whatever type chair for our living room, and so it got delivered. Right, it got delivered this big box over right in our front of our our door, and I get home first. Zebra Cakes still over at work, and I'm like, okay, cool. Let her know that got delivered. I go ahead and unlock, pick up this box. I'm walking in blind. Next thing you know, left foot steps first inside. Next thing you know, my foot literally just slides. It just goes. I'm like, whoa, and I almost like fall and drop this box. I gather myself, right, and I'm thinking to myself like, what the fuck? Like, what was like slippery that I just stepped on? I was like, did Nico like piss or something like that in there, or did somebody spill like water or something? And then I look down, brown liquid smear.
Oh, yeah, Nico.
And the thing is, Nico felt so bad that he was hiding in our bedroom.
Oh,
damn.
When I went over, I was like, Nico, and I just see him over like beside our bed, just kind of like like just peeking his head.
Yeah.
You could tell he just felt so bad.
Poor baby couldn't hold it anymore. He had upset stomach.
Yeah,
and daddy slipped on it.
And then, but it was literally almost one of those comical, like, cartoon moments where, like the dad comes home from work and all of a sudden just boom, slips on, boom, falls on shit or something like that. You know, whatever.
The box on
I thought you were gonna say you landed on it. It was on your back. I was like, no,
dude. I'm telling you, if I literally wasn't like. If I didn't have amazing reflexes, I'm getting
if I just wasn't a peak athlete,
no,
I
seriously,
would have ate it.
I literally almost ate shit.
Yeah, you almost ate shit, literally.
But yeah, it was So, but thankfully, when I got home from work, there wasn't shit at home, and when I took Nico out, Nico was fine. So,
good job,
Nico. What did you say?
I was like, bro, get out. You're so stinky.
I cleaned up the mess. Yeah. So, good stuff.
Crazy weekends for all of us.
Dang.
Love all the Dookie talk.
Levi would love it.
We haven't our fair share of topics today, man. We got, baby
Fun
talk,
topics.
Dookie talk. As a matter of fact, both those things are going to be, essentially the same thing, Kyron. So hope you're ready for that, man.
Mm-hmm. Right.
A lot of Dookie.
Yeah.
It's funny too because even like me and Zaber Cakes were like, gosh, because like Nico's been like waking us up early in the mornings. We're like, this was gonna be like if we have kids.
Yeah, this was gonna be like
going to work just like exhausted and just being like, oh yeah, our baby kept crying in the middle of the night and just had diarrhea.
I know.
Dude, having a cat's the same way. Kenai woke me up last night too. He walked up to me it's probably like 2:30. He walks up. He saw that I'd been like messing with my rib. He takes both his paws. He starts going. I was like, oh, wake up! Like,
let me resuscitate.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? He goes, ow! Goes to the door. I was like, oh my god! Like you did that to wake me up to get out. Crazy.
He's like, bro, let me out.
Yeah. I'm like, this will wake you up.
You could just bopped my face or some shit.
Man.
Didn't have to go pushing on my ribs.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think we can go ahead and now finally get into the declaration of war. I know you guys hopefully have been excited. You've been waiting. Not much kind of recap other than like I said at the start of the episode. I mean, we essentially have this Willy Tiber production in effect. Willy has now entered the stage and the crowd is there ready to go ahead and get this production. Aaron and Rhina go ahead and meet after 4 years. Falco probably feels like shit. And
he does.
This mysterious soldier goes on to go ahead and ask and summons the Titan warriors in attendance to go ahead and see Commander Magath. Spoiler alert, they're not going to Magath.
Yeah.
And we also know
Definitely.
that
wait a second.
what am I blanking on it? What are the tribes? The Akubiko, or what is it?
Azumabito.
Azumabito, yeah.
The Azumabito clan.
The clan, yeah. They went ahead and they the main girl that we're familiar with.
Well, that Udo spilled the wine on.
Yeah. Where is she at? She is. I want to get her name. Kiyomi. Miss Kiyomi Azumabito.
Mm-hmm.
She goes on to go ahead and see Willy before Willy hits the stage. To go ahead and kind of essentially give her congratulations and all that, and then she mysteriously afterwards decides to just leave. It's almost like she knows something. Very interesting. I do want to say too that for us here in this podcast studio, did you get some questions answered a little bit when watching the final attack?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because stuff that we talked about recently.
I'm like, dang, I must have not remembered.
We're like, who knew? Do they know? Like, why is she so mysterious? Why is? And then all of a sudden, there's that moment where Miss Kiyomi is having that conversation, kind of like with Annie over on the boat and stuff. We're like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, well, that answers our question.
Yeah. And we'll go ahead and we'll of course talk about it and all that. But yeah. So the production has begun. Aaron has essentially trapped Rhina and Falco, as he explains that they are underneath an apartment building full of families. And yeah, so I'm excited to go ahead and hear what Willy has to say. Again, Willy Tiber will be voiced by the talented Zack Attack. And
hello.
And it's going to be fun, guys. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and get ready with Booyah. And again, this is season 4, episode 5, Declaration of War. This is part 2 of our episode breakdown discussion. And again, stick around, guys, so that we can go ahead and talk about it together. And there's going to be some interesting information that Willy goes on to give us. As you guys can see, this stream's title is Willy Reveals the Truth. And this is something where I myself really kind of forgot the extent of what he is literally saying on stage. And it's interesting stuff. Again, the information we get, it kind of goes on to it changes for me my perception of Willy a little bit. So like, oh shit, like wow. But with that being said, let's find out what the hell Willy has to say. And so Lex, Zach, you both ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do this. Okay. We begin this episode as the crowd erupts in applause. Willy is front and center as the many cameras flash, capturing Willy bow to the crowd. Aaron reacts to the applause as he tells Raina, "Sounds like the show's begun. We should listen." The show has indeed begun as Willy addresses the many in attendance.
Let's pull back the veil of time. Roughly a century ago, the Eldian Empire ruled the world through the might of its titans. Humanity as we know it could go extinct 3 times over, and the body count still wouldn't match the number of lives that titans have stolen. Such is the legacy of the founder, Ymir.
As illustrations behind Willy give visuals to the story, we can see the other Tiber family members watching their Willy from behind the stage. Other actors in this production join Willy on stage to indicate bloodshed as Willy continues.
So much has been lost. Countless people and cultures wiped out. Histories crushed underneath. I'm going to start that one over.
Mm-hmm.
So much has been lost. Countless peoples and cultures wiped out. Histories crushed underfoot with their pride. Heldia's history is all we have left, and it tells only of killing.
Aaron and Raina continue to listen as we see Raina trembling with fear.
You see, once the Eldians ran out of foes to conquer, they began to fight amongst themselves, vying for power.
Actors on stage illustrate friendly fire as they wear blindfolds, indicating their blind actions.
Thus began the Great Titan War, which saw 8 of the 9 Titans locked in an endless cycle of bloodshed. But there was one brilliant Marleyan who saw in this chaos a path to victory. He was the heroic paragon we all know as Helos. Thanks to his cunning manipulations, Heldian infighting grew far worse, and the Empire grew weak. Then Helos joined hands with the Tiber family, and they forced a supposedly unbeatable King Fritz to retreat to a far-flung island.
The crowd applauses at the production and Willy's storytelling. Willy continues.
That said, he fled with his powers intact, and his reign continued. With him he took tens of millions of Titans, ready to trample the world at his command.
The crowd gasps at the shadow illustration showing the rumbling.
It's believed that our world continues to exist unbroken for one reason alone: chance. Our scholars can field no better explanation. In order to fight this existential threat, my motherland, Marley, sent me a team of 4 Titan warriors to take the founder. But they were soundly beaten, and only the armored Titan returned.
We see Raina's mother in the crowd, listening carefully.
It's clear now. The ancient engine of cruelty called the Eldian Empire is alive and well today.
Underground, Aaron tells Raina, "Honestly, it makes sense. I get why you plunged my home into hell. You were on a mission to save the world, right? So you had to." Raina just stares, numbly. Meanwhile, Zeke, Peak, and Galliard were summoned by a mysterious soldier. This soldier tells Zeke,
"My orders are to send you to the gate, Jaeger."
Zeke obliges to the orders. All right. Zeke walks away. The mysterious soldier tells Peak and Galliard,
"This way, you two."
Porco and Peak follow the soldier, But Peak carefully examines the soldier. Peak, after looking carefully, tells the soldier,
I feel like I've seen you before, but I can't quite place you. Where are you stationed?
The soldier answers,
My unit's out west near How do you pronounce that?
Lakua?
Lakua.
I think so.
Let me try that again then. My unit's out west near Lakua. They sent me to help bolster security. I'm not interested in chatting with an Eldian, even if you are a warrior.
Peak is disappointed as she playfully responds,
Well, isn't that a shame? It started to take a real liking to your beard.
A group of soldiers notice the Titan warriors walking as one soldier waves, Oh! Peak! Peak takes notice.
It's the Panzer unit!
She runs over to the group to give a big hug.
Thanks for all your hard work, guys.
The Panzer unit leader is caught off guard by the hug. Oh, honestly, we should be thanking you. You're in a really good mood today. The mysterious soldier orders Peak.
What are you doing? Let's go.
Peak walks back with a smile on her face as Galliard asks, What was that? Peak playfully responds,
What? Those soldiers ride the card Titan into battle. I need their support, so I tried to build a bond with them.
Galliard, after noticing the Panzer unit's reaction, tells Peak, well, no offense, but it seems like you did more harm than good. We then see the Panzer unit, all nervously shaken up by whatever Peak just did. Meanwhile, back on the rooftop, waiting, Commander Magath asks a nearby soldier,
Hear anything?
The soldier informs Magath, Haven't heard anything, sir. Everything's quiet for now. Commander Magath tells the soldier,
Report everything you hear to me. I don't care how insignificant it may seem.
The soldier complies. Back to the mysterious soldier. The soldier tells Porco and Peak.
In here. Go.
The soldier opens the front door to a random house as Porco and Peak walk in, looking around for anybody else. Porco asks, So, where's Commander Magath? Peak screams out to Porco as she catches the mysterious soldier preparing to cut a rope with her small knife. Upon cutting this rope, it reveals a trapdoor beneath Porco and Peak, causing them both to fall deep into a ditch. Underground, underneath the apartment building, a confused Falco thinks to himself, Okay, what's going on here? Why does Vice Chief Braun seem so afraid? Mr. Kruger said they were old friends, but... Falco gasps. Old friends? Just how many years has he known him? If it's more than 4, then... They met on Parody. Wait, that can't be right. Because if it is... Falco recalls Rhina's words upon seeing Mr. Kruger.
It can't be.
Falco realizes that he's made a grave mistake. Oh no. All right.
Duh.
A lot of craziness.
Dumbass.
Well, Falco, of course, tries to do,
He sees the good in people.
the right thing. Yeah, he does. He sees the good in people.
He's just a good, optimistic boy.
So, first, can we get an applause for Zach and...
Very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's obviously a lot as Willy really does go ahead and he addresses the crowd
fucking yapper, man.
just by giving the storytelling, and we go ahead and we see on stage there is like these illustrations, almost like puppeteers, kind of showing
like
these
puppeteering
shadow
the cutout.
puppets, over
It's a
by the
legitimate
stage
show.
and stuff, and so again, Willy's family is over there behind the stage watching this performance, which again also kind of like sucks for them to go ahead and for us to know that what they're going to ultimately witness.
Yeah.
But we know that Willy was prepared for whatever the hell happens, right? And so kind of looking over at Willy's words here, he wants to go ahead and talk about the history, right? And this is the first part that he goes on to explain. It's a part that Marley is very much familiar with. He goes on to describe, the Great Titan War. He goes on to describe the hero that is Helos, right?
I feel like we could argue this is the taught history.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the taught history over at Marley, and this is as Willy goes on to say. So we're looking at essentially, 100 years ago. Talks about how the Eldian Empire, they ruled through the might of the Titans, and he goes on to say. Let's go ahead and let's get to the real info of the story here, but. He says countless people, cultures, all wiped out, right? And he talks about how Eldia's history is all that's left. And he says, as well, I guess what's interesting as he says that is we get that kind of puppeteer moment by the stage of literally the colossal titans that are on standby for this rumbling. It's something where it's kind of like very like ominous and very like sinister, and especially even for like us who went ahead and recently saw literally the final attack and get to see really the devastation that these titans really go on to do. So it's kind of interesting that we went to go ahead and see that movie because
the episode we recapped was a good precursor to the movie.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's very much fresh in our mind. And so to go ahead and get like these hints and stuff, it's kind of like, damn. So it's essentially
feels like we've been like studying.
It's been it's been essentially like
I could write a whole lot
hinted at. It's been hinted at, but then all of a sudden we go ahead and we have this movie where it's actually in full effect. We're going to get more of it too in the next part that we cover shortly. But yeah, so again, we go ahead and we kind of get an illustration. And for people in the audience, can you imagine going on to go ahead and see these giant shadows of titans over on the screen, all just kind of lined up and ready to go ahead and be summoned, right? So continuing on with what Willy goes on to inform. Again, this is all just like for any of these Marlians who know their history. This is, again, like as Zach explained, this is the history that they are taught. So the Marlians here are probably thinking, man, this guy's spitting, like he's fucking, he knows his shit. Yeah. We're all just applauding where we're like, yeah, hell yeah, Marley and this and that, and stuff, right? So he continues, and now he's talking about this battle, right? Where we see actors on stage now go ahead and partake in this kind of like, simulated acting out as a battle, and they're blindfolded. Well, these soldiers are actually supposed to be representing what? The Titans, right? Yeah. Is that what they're supposed to represent? Because if you look kind of closely and you watch that episode, there's a person who has like this kind of like shell, and he's on all fours. Obviously, showing us the cart titan, right? I was trying to look at exactly who the others who were essentially acting out as, but it's kind of hard to tell. And also, as far as 100 years ago, we don't know exactly what iterations of these titans really were. We don't know because we're like female titan,
is there like
colossal titan.
Let me try that word again. Evolution of Titans?
I mean, we know that there's been plenty of Titans in the past, again, from the movie that we went on and just saw all those different iterations of Titans, those different versions and different, really, evolutions of Titans. So, like, there's maybe implied, like, I don't know, Warhammer maybe, as we see, the blindfolded people having, like, spears and stuff and all that. I don't know if maybe we're looking at anybody that maybe has the armor, if that's representing the armor. Obviously, that can be implied as well. But it's hard to tell as far as Jaw Titan. It's hard to tell, obviously, as far as like Beast Titan. It's hard to tell, obviously, as far as, of course, Colossal. But it does say 8 of the 9, right? Yeah. At least that's what Willy goes on to let us know.
But again, we don't know how accurate, because it's what's taught.
It's Marlian taught history.
A lot of these people have not seen Titans up close. So
do we have anybody that's kind of like having anything to say over?
Yeah, actually, Jacob says, I have a question about that. Sorry for interrupting. No, you don't have to say sorry, Jacob. No worries.
Just go ahead and
that's what this is for.
Yeah, whenever in chat.
He said, sorry for interrupting, but why is one of the Colossal Titan's eyes open watching and his other eye is kind of like opening? I don't get that. During the rumbling, he said.
It's hard to tell as far as what kind of like, I should say, maybe consciousness that these Titans have.
True.
And they obviously have many different appearances, and it could easily just be as simple as that's just as they were kind of drawn to go ahead and be. as far as we've seen other Titans kind of have different physical appearances based off of the Titan user, like we've talked about Armin, of course, not having ears because he doesn't want to go ahead and hear the devastation that's happening. There's, I'm sure, other examples.
It might be to just symbolize that it's like, these aren't smart creatures, like they're very out of it, and it's very like, all they know is, you know, walk forward, kill, stumble, step, kill, stomp, rumble.
Yeah, exactly. So unfortunately, we don't have like a clear-cut response and answer to go ahead and tell you. But that's one thing too. Noticing is that like there are obviously many different looking colossal Titans and stuff. And for me, I was even thinking like, how did these Titans even get stuck over inside the wall? Like, were they people at one point, or
that's what I was wondering just too. Like, I was like, were these once pure Titans that were then turned into colossal?
I feel like those ones were probably,
or were they like
made by Ymir for King Fritz.
Yeah, I mean that can be
like
another example as well. Yeah, because we do see, you know, the founder Ymir over in the paths just sculpting these Titans, and every time we see her kind of sculpting a Titan, it does appear that she's sculpting a colossal Titan.
Yes.
So that very well could be as well. So then if we have Titans that look different, it's pretty much just like that's how Ymir went on to go ahead and create them.
She's just been constantly making them in the paths, preparing for the rumbling.
Yeah.
That's an insane number of
And then I can't remember the exact number that was given to us in the movie, but it was informed to us and explained to us how long she's been over there. I think Zeke mentioned it when Zeke ultimately, or when Armin stumbles upon Zeke, and Zeke has been there for a long time. But I think that he went to explain to Armin how long Ymir has been there, just
waiting,
you know, a slave to you know, the paths.
Yeah.
Right. Don't have a clear-cut response and answer for you, Jacob, but it just could be just that's how they were essentially created and drawn to look.
Yeah, he said, that's fine, thank you. It makes more sense, or it can mean like they don't have any humanity, so even watching it doesn't faze them.
I mean, the only one that stood out to me for the Colossal Titans and the Rumbling was the one that was looking like this, like down with the shade line, because those are the same eyes Aaron had. That's the only one that really stood out to me.
Interesting. Yeah, but thank you so much for the question, Jake. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, so then I wanted to go ahead and ask both of you, and even in chat too, if any of you have a response too. But like I figured it kind of indicated just like the blind leading the blind a little bit. But why are they blindfolded?
I'm pretty sure it's.
I think it's
for
maybe they
like
don't
the
have
way
free
that you
will.
described it in our notes here, being like that, just to indicates like how they're just
acting blindly
going into I want to survive.
Yeah, there really is no like true actual
kill or
like
be killed. Yeah.
Okay, got it. That's how
I think it's also because you see King Fritz in the back of that scene. So I think it's also like King Fritz kind of orchestrating shit.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I kind of also like took that scene as, which is, you know, why we have that over in the notes. But I wanted to go and ask both of you because I figured it was like it's kind of interesting that is the illustration, and also like Willy himself is obviously very informed with the truth of you know of the story and stuff, you know, and he also goes on to know what Marleyan history is as well. So we've gone on to explain, I should say, described Willy in past episodes as somebody who obviously is well informed with their history. If he's going to have a full-on speech about, you know, the history, then obviously he has to know his shit. And so we talked about how it's like Willy can go into any crowd really and just kind of like, you know, have conversations and talk to whoever, really kind of, you know, like make friends with whoever, very charismatic. He can go on to just kind of have, you know, he seems to be a very great storyteller. It's kind of funny because like last week we talked about again with him and Azumabito, you know, Miss Lady Kiyomi, and he's like talking about how he's like, you know, stage fright and this and that. Like, bitch, come on.
We know you ain't fucking scared of talking to stage a crowd, bro. Motherfucker.
You just know what to say to people.
You've been waiting for this moment, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he is a little scared of this moment.
I think he understands what potentially, you know,
he knows something big is going to happen.
Yeah,
and he doesn't realize that he is the something that's going to happen. Let's
think about it though, because in terms of what we're going to talk about very, very shortly, but again, just to go ahead and kind of like, you know, hint at for the sake of just this topic, Willy's going to go ahead and reveal some truths that the Marleyans don't necessarily agree with, or maybe even understand or aware of. So by that, you think about being on stage, front and center, saying certain things that maybe people take offense to or think is blasphemous.
Literally propaganda, yeah.
What do you think could potentially happen? We obviously know what's going to happen to Willy,
Backlash
but
from the crowd,
what can also happen is somebody can go ahead and just try to, I don't know, assassinate Willy,
assassinate him
or somebody can go
himself.
ahead and, you know, like whatever the case is, right?
Which is why Willy is like, let me do this. I want to be the Helos. This is the way I want to go out.
Yeah,
please.
And it's something that Josh even, I remember Josh explaining to us too, as well as last week, that about Helos is that, well, Helos is a character essentially that didn't exist.
Yeah.
Right. And again, we're going to talk
More
about it
of
as
a
well.
symbol.
And it's a symbol. It's a statue. It's something to go ahead and see, to go ahead and kind of just demonstrate what it is that Marley wants in the story. Right. They want a hero. They want somebody who went to go ahead and slay the Titans in this great Titan war, which is why in this moment here, he talks about the Helos. And then so we'll go ahead and it's perfect timing because he goes on the next part after describing the bloodshed. He says that, but there was this heroic paragon, as Willy describes this heroic paragon we know as Helos. He goes, thanks to his cunning manipulations, Eldian infighting grew far worse and the empire grew weak. But then Helos joined hands with the Tiber family. Like, think about that story, right? Like, we understand that the Tiber family, right, they're essentially honorary Marleyans because of what history has gone on to, I should say, what history was explained to them that the Tiber family did, right?
Yeah.
It seems like they were, and we're talking about it, they were, I guess, I'll save it. We'll talk about it once we talk, once we get more about King Fritz. But again, Helos is this fictional character that joins this war and helps essentially
bring peace
by essentially shunning this, which is described as this unbeatable king, to this island, right? And then continuing, he says that he fled, talking about King Fritz, with powers intact. His reign continued over on the island, and he took tens of millions of Titans with him. Now, we understand that these tens of millions of Titans, they don't go ahead and follow King Fritz. Maybe they did at some point, but there's another way that Titans are going to the island. Yeah. It's from the Marleyan soldiers that are literally turning Eldians into Titans over in the walls over on the shore.
Yeah,
like, and
just dropping them off at port.
Yeah, that's how Titans are making it over to the island. You know, it's not that they're being created over by the founder, Ymir. Like,
endless cycle. Yeah,
and there's another moment too that I can't help but go ahead and kind of notice. I just not say notice, but I took notice of, and it was from Zebra Cakes watching it, and the realization that, wait, Titans are humans?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so again, that's another moment too. Like, and baby, I don't know if you're still listening, but we had that same exact reaction too when we're watching it, and we come to go ahead and know that the Titans are the bad, they're the villains, and they are these monsters, and all of a sudden, as we continue watching, we get this information. And
then we see Connie's mom.
And the next thing we know, we find out that these Titans
like, oh, crap,
were once human beings who just have bad, just shit luck.
Because they're Eldian, they just got transformed. Yeah, they either got stuck by Marleyans or they just got unlucky and drank some spinal fluid.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, unfortunately, there are many ways for these Eldians to go ahead and become Titans. Yeah. Which we saw again in the movie. We saw that freaking, that weird, I always forget of what it's referred to as, but it's that kind of bug-looking.
It's the thing that when they say when Zeke talks about life.
Yeah, it's pretty much life. It's pretty much.
I know. There's a solid name for it.
It's pretty much like Ymir's spirit, I feel like.
Exactly. Just for shits and giggles, because we're talking about this bug, I do want to go ahead and kind of put on a random ass song just for shits and giggles.
For the bug.
But just for shits and giggles. So talking about bugs.
Hallucigenia sparsa.
Okay. So upon seeing that bug, that's another way we go ahead and we see literally how the Eldians become Titans.
It's the source of all living matter.
That's what we're described to as the source of all living matter. I have to remember that. But so this source of all living matter it spreads this fog, right? And even Connie himself is like, this isn't just any kind of like fog or mist. This is just like over a Ragako village, right? Which how Connie knows that is actually kind of scary. It just goes to show that he really did some substantial digging to find out really what happened to his family and
His mom, yeah.
to happen. Yeah, exactly. To, you know,
How
the
she ended
people
up as a Titan.
Yeah, and that just goes to show again, like Zach was talking about, that moment, that sad moment where him and where I say Connie and Jean are literally preparing for what was the inevitable in that time. There's no way they can escape it. You know, they didn't go ahead and jump on the freaking, you know, like
On Falco,
you know, and all that.
Yeah.
Which again, that was another cool moment.
They didn't
for
even have
sure.
the
Yeah.
ODM gear on. They couldn't have jumped off the cliff and stuck
Nope.
to it. Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, these Eldians have ways of becoming Titans. So it's not just King Fritz went on to go ahead and lead the Titans over to the island. Like, maybe, you know, that 100 years ago, maybe, you know, King Fritz was able to go ahead and do a lot with the Titan abilities, because we understand that we're going to talk about it, where it's like, it's common knowledge, not common knowledge, but it's history is shown over in parody that people's memories are wiped.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. So, if you're Eldian, you know what? Just enjoy the time of your life and try to live it well. You know, just do it,
Yeah.
because you know what? They're just bugs in this freaking, you know, nation of Marley, and it's unfortunate because in this bug life that is, you know, Eldians in Marley, there's gonna be these freaking, you know, grasshoppers that want to just go ahead and show up and just have this oppression, and they want to go ahead and just have it their way and be like, I need you guys to just collect food for us. And what I mean by that, I need you guys to transform into Titans for us. You know, like, just do our bidding, just fight our wars, and then, you know, if you don't, guess what? You're gonna
work. Just do the dirty work.
You're gonna become Titans. You're gonna become bugs anyways. So yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna become bugs anyways, so might as well.
Anyways,
We're on our way
that's
to
crazy.
parody on our favorite rocket ship by King Fritz.
yeah, I mean, can you imagine?
He said, oh, that came out wrong. Don't read it.
This motherfucker's literally on a boat, just like, you know, trying to be like freaking Christopher Columbus or whatever
Yeah.
and stuff, you know,
literally.
or he's like George Washington just
moving.
leading the independence or whatever and stuff. Oh my gosh, I hope that made sense. I don't know my history too well, but yeah, I don't know. Wait, Zebra Cakes goes, I'm confused. So Titans are grasshoppers? I mean,
Aren't we all just grasshoppers?
it's like how Attack on Titan goes on to go and explain just essentially like
Bugs don't need grasshoppers.
it's like life.
you who needs us.
Right.
But it's like life and death, right? We see the illustrations of like, what was it, the one where Mikasa, she sees the bugs, like the one bug eating the other bug. And it's kind of like, that's just what life is.
Yeah.
You know? It's just,
Life is beautiful.
it's literally just like dog eat
Also
dog.
cruel.
You know,
Yep.
it's bug eat bug. It's the time
Kill
of
it,
your
be
life,
killed.
so live it well. Shout out
Yup.
to Randy Newman.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, so with that being said, guys,
Bug.
Helos isn't real. And King Fritz didn't take this whole freaking millions of Titans over to this island. Unless he did, and we're going to go ahead and find out really why and how. But again, so Willy goes on to talk about the power that stays intact. So again, we talked about the rumbling, right? It says it's believed that our world continues to exist unbroken for one reason alone. What is that reason? You said it, and you're like, chance. Chance, right? Our scholars
all it is.
feel no better explanation. We're alive literally just because of chance, just sheer luck, whatever. Great. We're born into this world. We don't have no freedoms, whatever the case is. We're prisoners to whatever our nation goes on to go ahead and say. If we're born Eldian, guess what? Our only, I guess, reason for living is to just try to appease the nation so that we aren't oppressed to the point where we are either, you know, taken advantage of, beat up. I'm sure there was, you know, I know this is,
There's plenty you can say. Yeah.
and say I don't want to go ahead and say the whole sexual abuse thing, but also there's that, there's murder, there's so much, you know, like just think about being Eldian over in Marley. Like,
Crime.
you have to literally
Think
go
about
ahead.
any horrible crime.
Yep.
You have to literally just, you have to just be on your best behavior and don't bite the hand that feeds, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we talked about with, Aaron's grandfather, with, Grisha's father, that upon hearing the news of the death of his daughter, he's just like, oh, well, I'm sure she was in the wrong for what she did, and I apologize for my children, and please just don't discipline us and all that, and we'll be better and this and that. And then these officers are like, yeah, you're right, just keep them in line next time, or keep the one you have left in line. And it's like, bro, like, stick up for your family, but if he does, what's gonna happen to him?
Execution.
So again, it's we're born into this world. It's all just by chance. And Willy continues saying, in order to fight this existential threat, he goes, my motherland, Marley, they sent a team of 4 Titan warriors. This is a story that we are familiar with. This is a story that, we come to find out that these 4 Titan warriors are the traitors that we, grow to essentially hate, right? It's interesting too when you watch this. It's all about the perspectives as well, which is even similar to what essentially Willy is trying to explain here. That this is a perspective here that Marley knows all too well. But wait until he switches that perspective, much like in season 4, when we get that perspective switched on us. Or we're like, wait, who are these characters? Why are we so that's why they hate parody? Well, what's going on? It's all about these crazy perspectives that we're coming to learn. And Marley's going to go ahead and learn a whole new perspective. But here's what he talks about here. He's like, these 4 Titan warriors, they've been sent to reclaim the founder, right? But they were soundly beaten. He says, and only one returned, the armored. I guess I don't know. I guess Zeke's not one of those 4, but yeah. The armor did return. It sucks because in that moment,
well, they kept Zeke and Peak under wraps.
Yeah.
No one was supposed to know they went.
So the 4 were Marcel,
Rhina,
Annie Bertold. Yeah. So you have the Colossal, the Armored, the Female, and the Jaw. And only one returned. Now that's obviously like, can you imagine? You're Marley, right? And you go like, all right, we're going to send these 4 Titan warriors over to this island. And you only come back with the Armored.
Yeah.
Now, we know...
You sent 4 there to capture 1 boy. And
you got 1 boy in return.
Yeah. And all you got back was 1 fucked up boy.
Yeah. But again, as Willy's saying this particular part of the story...
Actually, that's a lie. They also brought back Ymir. So technically,
they got the Jaws.
You came back with 2 Titans. One of them just wasn't yours.
That's true. I think for me, I just try to block that out of my memory because I'm just like,
just so fed up with it.
Why'd you leave?
As Willy goes on to go ahead and explain this part of the story, again, we focus over on some of the parents. We focus on Rhina's mother, and she's there watching this production next to Mr. Leonhardt. And he doesn't seem too amused because, he's very much convinced that, my daughter is going to return.
She's alive.
Yeah,
she's alive. She promised. And
but you know what? He wasn't wrong.
Wasn't.
She did come back. She did return.
We did see that too.
We did, yeah.
That is true.
I was thinking about that actually when we saw that. I was like, she did promise.
She promised.
We just reviewed that.
Probably like, in your face, Miss Braun.
I know. It's like you laughed at me.
And then Willy goes on to say this.
Where's your daughter?
He goes on to say this almost like propaganda line. It's just like the Eldian Empire is alive and well today, right? And he talks about kind of like, hey, look, they're still like over on that island, and we still have to take care of them,
Yeah.
And then at this moment, we go back to Aaron and Rhina, where Aaron goes on to tell Rhina, like, hey, I understand why you did it now. He goes, I understand why you decided to go to my home and turn it into a hell. You were on a mission to save the world, so you had to do it. And again, we're talking about the perspectives. Rhina is told that he needs to do this in order to go ahead and save the world, but in reality, he's trying to save his world. He's trying to save his family's world. He's trying to save his mom's world. He's trying to make a worthwhile life for his mom, being this like honorary Marleyan, so to speak. And but reality is, these are freaking children that are manipulated to go and become like these titans.
Weapons, yeah.
These weapons. And it's pretty fucked up, honestly.
Yeah.
When you think about it, I mean, you have these other children that are literally training in that moment.
They just want to be seen, dude.
Yeah, Falco, Gabi.
Be human.
You have Udo, you have Zofia, who are all children who have been taught to go ahead and try to carry on this burden of being this warrior for the sake of their family so that their family can go and become honorary Marleyan.
Mm-hmm.
They should be out there jumping rope and saying Sigma. What are they doing fighting in war?
What the skibbity?
It's craziness. So Eren sympathizes and he understands, and Reina is just fucked up. Reina is just literally just
soaking it in.
Right?
Yeah.
And then so then now we go to that mysterious soldier, who we obviously know is turns out to be Yelena. Well, interesting how Pete goes on to go ahead and kind of find the soldier familiar. Now, I can't recall in this moment. Maybe we'll know as we go ahead and continue to focus on these episodes. I'll go and I'll see that moment. But do we remember why she recalls that specific person?
Not a clue.
Is it because that Peak in her Titan form maybe stumbled upon Yelena as she was doing her, but they kind of like behind the scenes, you know, like meetings with the Jaeger brothers, or
Yeah, I don't know.
was maybe she stumbled upon Yelena speaking with Zeke.
I would thought that she was saying it in a way to be like, who are you? Like just trying to get more info.
Yeah.
And stuff, because she could definitely see that why is there a sticky edge to this beard?
Yeah, I know, seriously.
What's going on with the edge of your beard?
Why do I see a tape in your beard?
Is that Velcro?
I know. Dude, your beard's falling off. You might want to...
Yeah.
Rent a beard.
Yeah, rent a beard.
Yeah.
Very good, Eddie. Rent a beard. Oh, yeah, Eddie also says, yeah, but it's crazy that also parody turns them into child soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the life
no doubt.
expectancy there is like
25, 30
20.
years.
Yeah. So...
But you think about over in parody, though, it's like they're not forced to do it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
It's by choice.
they go ahead and they enter the regiment because
it's not a race war where you have to be accepted as a human being.
Let's think about it in this way too, Eddie, is that what we're given as far as the story is
like
that
military.
The moment we enter parody, there is a breach. So at that point, there's a breach where we come to understand through history, as the characters talk about, there's been 100 years of Titans not breaching the walls. It's been so boring, in fact, that we see the soldiers over there, the garrison soldiers playing pinochle and drinking.
Pinochle.
The MPs are just chilling over inside the the inner wall. We have the scouts who go outside the walls, and yeah, it sucks because they come back with less scouts. But these scouts, at no point do we ever see children as scouts, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't become children scouts, aspiring scouts, until they have to fight to reclaim their land, until they have to fight for their fallen family.
Mm-hmm.
So in that moment, yeah, it sucks when these children have to go ahead and make that decision and try to reclaim a land that was now just infiltrated by Titans, thanks to the armored and the colossal and eventually the female Titan's going to be involved in the mix and all that, and so you have this suicidal maniac who takes it upon himself to try to go ahead and slaughter every single Titan.
I need to destroy all of them.
And then that means, obviously Armin and Mikasa are going to go ahead and follow that lead, right? Because they can't leave him alone. And
They're
also,
like, well, this dude's going to get killed immediately.
What
We
else?
gotta take care of him.
What else do they have to live for? I mean,
Accept each other.
we know that Mikasa is only going to go ahead and fight alongside Eren. Armin doesn't have family anymore. He's going to go ahead and just follow his friends.
Yep.
Like, this is my new purpose.
That is his family.
Yeah, and so I mean, they're kind of stuck in that situation, but they aren't chosen at a young age to go ahead and hold on. This child is born from this family of so on and so forth, and we're gonna go ahead and have them enter the regiment as a cadet over at the age of 13 or age of 10 or whatever the case is, and have them go ahead and train because they think that we see promise in them.
Yeah, we don't ever see like giraffes
No.
or like anything like that in parody.
It's all by choice.
It's at the end of the day, they chose to do it.
Yeah.
Which I guess you could argue the same thing for the soldiers, but it's more they were pressured into choosing to do it.
They should be at Knott's Berry Farm.
No, literally, they should be at Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
You should be like
You should be going on
drinking a
Accelerator.
random Starbucks, walking around a mall.
yeah.
Doing kickflips and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, reality sets in once shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Once there are breaches, whatever the case is, then it's like, okay. But when you are that other side of the sea where it's like we have to train these children to be the reason that this breach is going to happen, it's different, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, however you put it, these children entering these regiments or trained to become these warriors, it's like it's sad, right?
Yeah, it is.
Pete goes on and notices. Thankfully, in that moment, there is this other unit, the Panzer unit, that happens to go ahead and arrive. They notice Pete. They went ahead and they kind of wave. Pete goes on and finds the moment. That's the moment. That's the opportunity. And that is my way of having some sort of backup plan, right? We're going to see what that is later on. But whatever she tells them, whatever she tells the group, leaves them stunned, as even Porco goes on to notice. Like we see in the episode, if you go ahead and you watch back, that group, they're all almost like cuddled together, all just like sweating and just like they were told something in a way where it frightened them, right? And for Peak to go ahead and scare them like that, you can only speculate. I mean, I don't know if she's saying, hey, I need you guys to go ahead and go on a ride for when I'm in my AttackOnTitan form, and I don't know if maybe they're afraid of, being on the AttackOnTitan, or who knows what the fuck she could go on to go ahead and tell them. But we know that whatever it is going to be big.
My initial thought when I saw that was like, oh, so she's just being like really weird right now. Like, because they were like, you're in a really good mood today. Like, it seemed like they were like, what the hell? She has emotion. I was like, oh, cool. Funny moment. No. Yeah. There's never just a random funny moment. It means something.
It definitely
and we're going to learn about it later on. But
yeah.
My initial thought was like, oh, she's just told them like, hey, I might be kidnapped right now. So follow me.
Yeah, exactly. So turns out Peak's intuition was correct. Porco was kind of just going with the flow.
He's just vibing.
The beard was a lie.
Beard was a lie. And now
like the cake.
There was it was all just a setup. It was a trap.
It was a ruse.
Yeah. And then obviously with that's not good news for Commander Magath. Commander Magath hasn't heard anything from his warriors, and so this other soldier informs that everything has gone quiet, and so he needs everything reported back to him. We've heard Magath say, report everything. I don't care how insignificant it is. I need to hear every single thing. The only thing we're missing here is his line about all the...
Every hair on that butt cheek.
Yeah, pretty much. So...
Okay, dude, okay. How much time do you got? How much detail do you want?
Exactly. And then finally, Falco now finally realizes I fucked up.
Finally puts the pieces of the puzzle together.
Wait a minute, this bad?
Yeah. And what also too, I mean, it's like he's piecing the puzzles together. He's like, wait, he said friends, but how old? Wait.
Yeah.
If
How
it's
far
more,
back do y'all go?
If it's more than 4 years, that means that oh fuck, they're from the island. Damn.
I know.
But
I
if
should have thought about how Rhina just doesn't live here.
Yeah, but if
like,
it's,
he wasn't
if
here
it's
for a good
recently,
portion.
if it's after 4 years, and that means that they met him here over in Marley. Like, wait, how old and this and that, and then when when Falco recalls Rhina's literally like, it can't be. Is like that should be obviously a very solid
that should have
clue.
immediately set off alarms for you, Falco.
Yeah.
I don't know why you got the coolest Titan, but
may not be the brightest boy, but he's got the coolest feathers.
He's got a good heart. And he drank
he means well.
He drank the Zeke Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Dude, his feathers, green and white feathers.
Yeah, so cool. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go
learned
ahead.
where that saying comes from. Drinking the Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
I learned about that cult and everything.
Oh yeah, it's a cult, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, they used to like put it, they would just like make this concoction and then they would just put some grape flavored Kool-Aid in there. Just to be like, tastes kind of good. You should drink it.
Yeah, it's pretty much what,
And pretty much knocked him out and they would just like...
It's what Zeke planned anyways.
Yeah,
it was
pretty much.
Juice.
It's what the Jaegerists call went ahead and they essentially planned. They're like, we're going to have everybody else go ahead and drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours is also grape flavored.
I mean, essentially, it's what wine is. So there you go. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and cover this last part here.
Kool-Aid,
where we get to go ahead and talk about, again, this declaration of war. You guys ready for it?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
So, Zach, you ready?
Yep.
Lex, you ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. Here we go. We continue the episode as Willy continues his production.
Most of you consider the history I just recounted to be common knowledge, But I stand here now to inform you that it is somewhat divorced from the truth. I know this because the Warhammer isn't the only inheritance the Tiber family bestows. We pass down memories as well, truths which I will now share with you.
A member of the brass whispers to General Calvi, "He's going off script. Not sure why." Willy continues.
Some 100 years in the past, the Great Titan War was ended, not by Helos, nor by my Tiber forebears. The savior who ended the fighting, the hero who saved the world, was King Fritz himself. He was plagued by guilt over the Eldian Empire's vicious past. He'd grown weary of watching families and countrymen torn apart by war, and he wept for Marley, a nation under constant oppression. So when he inherited the founding Titan, he plotted his downfall with the Tibers. Together, we created a Marleyan hero who would drive the king out. His name was Helos. After that, King Fritz moved as many Eldians to parody as he could, erecting the great walls around them. He left a warning that if anyone dare threaten his peace, countless Titans would be unleashed in retaliation. However, he never intended to make good on this threat. King Fritz made a vow renouncing war, and bound his successors to uphold it just as he did. Thus, his ideology was passed down to each new king of the walls, and the Titans with the power to crush the world remained dormant. Marley didn't stop Eldia, and chance hasn't kept the world from being crushed. It was the king of the walls, Karl Fritz, a man who yearned for peace. That's it. That's all he wanted. He said that if Marley grew strong someday and came in force to shatter his peace and seize the founding Titan, he would accept it. He believed the sins of his people committed were so horrific that they could never be atoned for.
The scene shows us the moment. Kenny and Udi were staring out into the sun setting on a lake.
When the day of retribution finally comes, I will accept it. But until then, let me enjoy this walled paradise, free from strife. I ask for nothing but a brief span of peace. Those were the final words of the king left with us.
The crowd gasps as someone asks,
"What does this mean?"
The audience begins whispering to each other, processing Willy's story. The audience continues to question.
If what he's saying is true, Marley and the Tiber family didn't really save the world?
A brass member asks General Calvi, "Well, General, your thoughts?" An ambassador tells their fellow comrades in the crowd,
Willy wouldn't lie.
The audience continues.
But if the king of the walls, that means parody doesn't actually pose a threat, right?
Willy continues.
It's true. To secure our own safety, my family joined hands with King Fritz. We became heroes to the world, while our fellow Eldians became devils. Put plainly, we Tibers are petty thieves, growing fat on honor we did not earn. I stand before you, willingly parting with my false glory, because I have come to understand that the world we share is in grave danger.
On the rooftop, waiting, a soldier has a message for Theo Magath. "Commander! The warriors are gone, and we haven't heard from any of the soldiers we sent to collect them." Commander Magath orders.
Mobilize the reserves at once. Track them down.
To be continued. Wow.
What happens next? Join us next week.
Tune in next time on Attack the Talk.
Interesting. So, this is what we talked about, guys. We talked about Willy changing the perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially educating Marley here, right? With really what the truth is. And how does Willy know? He goes on to explain. Memories.
Mm-hmm.
Memories that were passed down from the
predecessors of the Warhammer.
Titan. And it's very interesting here because memories are so powerful in Attack on Titan. Just think about the memories of what the predecessors were able to go ahead and give to the successors. It's like invaluable knowledge of history, and even for some, Attack Titans, what's to come. It's really insane how the memories play a factor over into this story. How it's like you're not essentially given an opportunity to go ahead and have this fresh start whenever you are given the Titan ability. You're almost burdened with whatever the hell any of these other Titan users experience, face, dealt with. It is a constant domino effect of just pain, sorrow, and guilt. And I think about Bertold in that movie and how he looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how he's just literally just sulking in,
Like defeat.
He's just like soulless. He's just there.
and it's pretty
Stole everything
surreal.
for me, man.
But
You stole my girl.
we come to find out that again, the Tiber family, they have been living a life of freedom, living a life of glory based off of a lie.
Lies.
Based off of a lie. Do we have anything in chat?
Jacob says, I was screen recording for nothing. That was my greatest moment and it was a failure.
It wasn't for nothing.
We wasn't for nothing, man. Now
we
you can look
understand
back on
that
and be like, dang, that was funny.
much like in any Attack on Titan episode, whenever you get that to be continued, we wanted to leave you with more, right? You want to go ahead and wait for more.
Keep you hungry.
Also, as we were going through the process of just kind of like getting prepared for this episode, we realized, oh shit, like there's a lot to cover.
Yeah.
And if we go ahead and we cover the entirety of the speech, we're looking at essentially a
It's
4
gonna
to
take a
5
long
hour
time.
long freaking stream. And, we love you guys.
We're still 2 hours in.
Yeah, we love you guys, but we also, we have things that we got to go ahead and take care of as
Also,
well.
We need sleep, bro.
Yeah. And I know that it's obviously much later for some of you over there watching with
No,
us.
those are you 3 hours ahead. It's already half to midnight, basically.
Yeah. So again, you're gonna have to wait one more week.
Yeah.
One more week, and then we're gonna go ahead and get that declaration. And I can't wait. And can we get that applause for Zach? Zach,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
great job, man. Again, it's a lot.
good.
It's a lot. And so Willy's really giving this speech out over to this public, over to these Marlians and also other ambassadors and other nations. And it's a lot. And you did an incredible job, man. And just think about
being at its finest.
Just think about all the words that you went on to go ahead and say over on this script that we have right in front of us. And it really only slipped up maybe like 3 times or something, and it's like,
Yeah, only like 2 times.
I think about me, I would have been like freaking losing my spot. I would have been probably just freaking, messing up some of the stuff.
I had like 4 lines and I messed up 2 of them.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, great job, man.
Jacob
Thank
goes,
you.
then another week. And another week.
Yep.
And another week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ever and ever and ever.
That's
But
what
we
this
know-
podcast is, man.
We know that this episode, right? Season 4, episode 5, Declaration of War, we understand how it ends. It ends with that moment and that reveal. So that's how we're going to go ahead and end it here for whenever we ultimately get to the end of episode 5. But, this is just part 2 of our episode breakdown discussion. We usually do 4-part breakdowns.
Yeah.
This time for this episode, we're going to do 3. So, you know what? We're trying to cover as much as we can. And we felt
Trying
like
to
this
do
was
it
a
as
good...
detailed as possible, too.
Yeah, we don't want you guys
Especially
we don't
because
want to
season
skim over
4 has a
content.
lot of references because we have a lot to look back on, and there was a lot of
foreshadowing comes to play,
a lot of foreshadowing. There's a lot of parallels, so it's going to take us longer. The further that we get into Attack on Titan, it's going to take us longer to do these breakdowns because Isayama did not come to play. He put in full detail, foreshadowing, parallels, like anything, like everything's very purposeful and we got to appreciate it. And that might take us 4 parts,
Yeah, exactly. So let's go ahead and explain the reality of
the real story.
Yeah. So it's interesting here as the moment that things are appearing to be different on stage, the brass are like whispering amongst each other. They're like, oh, hold on, he's going off script.
Yeah.
It goes to show that at least there was someone aware of what,
There was a script.
Willy was going to go ahead and say. But again, he goes on to go ahead and say, 100 years in the past, the Great Titan War was ended, but not by Hellos, right? Nor by my Tiber forebears, like talking about my ancestors.
Yeah.
Like the savior who ended,
Like it wasn't us.
who ended this fight, right? The hero who saved the world, right, was this king that we are
Is taught to hate.
to go ahead, to hate. So
Who
it
we're
was
supposed
like,
to
taught
view
to
as
be
the
the
devil.
villain.
Yeah.
And again, so like Zach mentioned early on this episode, like over on the stage, there is an actor who is trying, or I should say, symbolizing King Fritz right there, standing beside Willy. And but King Fritz was the one who ended the war. I should say, ended the war and saved the world. And it says he was plagued by the guilt over the Eldian Empire's vicious past, which is interesting. We don't hear guilt coming from King Fritz.
No.
Yeah.
Right. And then so he's talking about how he'd grown weary of watching families and countrymen torn apart by the war. Right. He says he wept for Marley, a nation under constant oppression. And yeah, we're now learning about the constant oppression that's happening from Marley, but it's not against Marleyans. It is the Marleyans who are oppressing the Eldians. But we come to find out that previous past in the history is that the Marleyans were the ones that were essentially this is the right word.
They were the ones who had the most drawback from Titans.
Yeah. So
Couldn't turn into them.
they weren't the
There
family
was constant
royal.
fight in their land.
Yeah, they weren't a part of the royal family. And so they had to go ahead and reclaim power, which is by them essentially claiming Titan powers. So that being said, this is a whole new story that Marleyans are able to go ahead and or I should say have grown accustomed to learning.
It's kind of what Isayama did to us.
Yeah.
In Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you see this dude that's like the villain? Feel sorry for him. He's been through a lot. Or it's, he basically did it the other way around. He's like, see this dude that's the main character, the hero? Well,
Exactly. He kind of did.
it's going to get harder to root for him.
He did the opposite. He really did the opposite because we hate this king, for what we have been, I guess,
What we've been shown, we've been taught,
Yeah.
based off
led
of
to believe.
the creator. And then all of a sudden now it's like, wait, maybe King Fritz just was trying to go ahead and bring peace at some point.
Yeah.
And then you have perfect explanation or example, Lex, is that we have somebody who's trying to just fight for freedom, ultimately takes away freedom
away 80% of other people's freedoms.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Jacob has a question that you can spiral on. Jacob said, here's a question. What happens if Aaron wasn't there? Would Willy be executed? Probably wants to know by who.
Well, we kind of talked about it a
happened?
little bit early on, but it's one of those things where if Willy goes on and spreads this propaganda in Marleyan eyes, Marleyans are not going to go ahead and appreciate it. And I think that depending on how the crowd reacts, depending on the outrage, if there is rebellion or whatever the case is, then you essentially going to go ahead and start up a war, which I think is why Mr. Tiber, Willy Tiber, was trying to get Magath over on his side, was to essentially fight for Eldians, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that there would be some sort of outcry, and it could start an internal war here in Liberia.
Yeah.
And maybe again, like we talked about, for all we know, somebody would have just gone on to try to assassinate Willy on the stage.
Yeah, Eddie literally said, I could see Yelena shooting Willy if Aaron wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously very strong with her ideals and very driven to try to accomplish certain
She doesn't mind
goals.
acting on what she believes in.
Yeah. And think about it too. Speaking of Yelena, she's literally in the presence of two Titan warriors that can transform at any moment if they see fit. And if they're a little sussed out by this soldier, they transform and they're probably going to go ahead and hurt each other because of the transformation. Maybe even, I don't know, kill one another, which is, we're going to find out that you don't want to transform in really kind of tight quarters. But she is right there next to
which is why dropping them into a pit was perfect.
Yeah, she's right there standing, leading these two threats that can easily fucking kill her. So think about what she's
These are trained warriors that you're just leading into a ditch that you're just hoping that.
So I wouldn't even unfortunately put it past her to go ahead and put herself in a situation to try to assassinate the face of this truth bearer, of trying to really inform the world of really what history was really about.
The truth.
And
whistleblowers always die.
What Erwin wanted the whole time. The truth.
Exactly. Especially Erwin's father. He was trying to spread the truth. He's another person they went ahead and got murdered. We see that people are trying to go and spread the truth, and all of a sudden, they're gone.
Yeah.
Right? People are trying to seek the truth.
Like that kid that Oda told what the One Piece is to.
What?
There's a Make-A-Wish kid that Oda told.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, real life, yeah.
And then Oda sent his hitman on him.
Yeah. And then even too with like Armin's parents are trying to seek the truth of what's really outside the walls, and then you have this, kind of military that, they can't allow people to go ahead and find out what's really going on. So, and those are at two different locations. That's over in the island, and then we got over there in the other side of the sea. So it's all crazy. But to answer your question, there's no doubt in my mind that Willy knew right here in this moment, whatever it turns out, whatever's going to happen after his speech, maybe even during, he knew his life was at risk and that he was going to die.
That's why he had Magath there with the soldiers to begin with.
Yeah. So, but thank you again for the question. And keep them coming. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Eddie also says, I find it interesting that the guy playing King Fritz doesn't have his eyes open. I feel like it's a way to show, we never see King Fritz's eyes really ever in the series. And I think it's like a way of like, I don't know, keeping them in the past. Maybe almost not fully humanizing him.
I always like to see it as like he's seen enough bloodshed, he's seen enough sorrow.
Yeah, I like that too.
He's seen enough, so he just decides not to see anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Or it's just he's constantly getting memories and shit, so he can't even open his eyes. He's just like, all I see is everything else going on.
Yeah, I already know what's happening. I don't need to see it.
Yeah,
yeah. So again, that was the truth that was explained to us. Continuing, he says that when he inherited the Founding Titan, he plotted his own downfall with the Tibers. It says, together we created a Marleyan hero who would drive the king out, his name Helos, and after that King Fritz moved as many Eldians to parity as he could, erecting his great walls around them, and he left a warning. We'll talk about the warning a little bit, but again, this is something where it's like the Tibers and King Fritz went on to go ahead and create this image, this soldier.
This fake idol.
Yeah.
And
we need a symbol. And then,
yes, that's the word. Like All Might.
Yeah, like All Might. They created All Might.
But he wasn't here.
No, he was not there at all.
He was not there.
And so you have like King Fritz, who obviously is not benefiting off of it, but then you have the Tiber family that is benefiting off of this, off of All Might. King Fritz left a warning that if anyone threatened his peace, countless Titans would be unleashed in retaliation. Interesting. That sound familiar? But then he says, however, sorry, Jacob, but King Fritz never intended to make good on this threat. However, Eren was like, nah.
Well, pick up where you left off.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
He goes, you know what? This guy's onto something, but I have to go ahead and kind of fulfill that.
Yeah. I'll just finish what he started.
Yeah. Anyways, so King Fritz made a vow renouncing war and bound his successors to uphold it just as he had. So now we come to find out that, remember way back when we were following that Udi story, and every time it seems like they did like this kind of like passing of the guard, right? The successors would go ahead and get the founder ability. They always had the same look in their eyes. Whatever they were talking about, prior to becoming the founder, that they were like, oh my gosh, I'm going to change things. I'm going to make things different. And then when they become the founder, their ideology changes, or I should say maybe it doesn't change and it stays the same with whatever is happening, right? So we understand that King Fritz, he upholded that specific ideology to anybody that's going to become the Founding Titan, which again is so different from Eren. And I don't know if that's just like a royal family thing. I don't know if it's
true.
I don't know if that's just if that's a Ymir thing. I don't know why Eren had essentially the free will. But
yeah, true. Because just watching this recent movie made me realize how much really much more involved. I mean, obviously she really was, but how hands-on Ymir really was. Founder Ymir really was. With everything. And like fully involved. Like she was
preventing people from
full on acting like in real time onto
at the start
things.
of it, literally those two unfortunate, boys that get trampled on, right before one of them dies, when they already see their brother dead beside him, and then the other one's guy has his legs crushed. He's looking, and right before he dies, sees Ymir.
Yep.
Sees Ymir off in the distance, like a freaking Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
And that also brings a whole new terrifying aspect to Ymir.
Mikasa's headaches.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, it's one of those things where I was like, damn, like, so Ymir has literally, like you said, Lex, she's had her fingerprints over on so much of the story, and we didn't even know it.
Be little fingers on everybody. Bro.
Like, it made me realize how much she really, like, fully comprehend how much she really is involved in this story.
And it makes me wonder, too.
It's
like,
Eren, and I know we always say it's Eren's doing. It's Eren and Ymir's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a combined effort.
And then, so Eddie said it's terrifying. Can you imagine? Like, think about all the characters that we have lost. Can you imagine if the last thing they saw was the founder Ymir?
Yeah, standing there staring at you. No eyes. She doesn't get eyes until she's like
Hanji
she's like
sees-
free.
Yeah.
Hanji sees her like on one of the rooftops.
Yeah, like that. I think about two other moments, where other characters have gone on to go ahead and die in war or die after the fact and stuff, and then we see their moments of where they actually die. Like, I can't help but think about now, like, did they go ahead and see Ymir off in the distance? Does Ymir only pick and choose where she wants to go ahead and be?
I feel like that's more the case. She just chooses who she wants to see. Like, I feel like she looked at those two boys because she saw that Eren had an interaction with them. And she was curious.
They meant something to Eren.
Yeah.
In a way. Jacob says, but Eren said that Ackermans always have headaches. Eren's also a manipulator.
Yeah,
But if that's the case, then
Eren says a lot of things.
But if that's the
But
case,
I think that
then
we learned that it was Ymir hiding in her.
why is Levi not having headaches?
Yeah, exactly. Levi doesn't really have headaches.
Because Erwin's dead.
Kenny doesn't have. I know, right? But Kenny doesn't have headaches. And so it's
He
like
has hangovers.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
exactly. So I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you think about,
I think that's what he told Mikasa to try to manipulate her. But we learned that it was actually Ymir pretty much poking in, because she identified with Mikasa's love, how enamored she is with Eren, which was her feeling towards, spoiler alert, King Fritz.
Yeah, exactly.
So she I'm just going to live in this girl's head. I'll just bury myself into her little
Is that
brain.
you saying we're having an epiphany?
Yeah, we're having an epiphany now.
Yeah.
Levi did mention something about headaches, though. That's pretty accurate, Lexi.
Oh, did he? Oh, interesting. So if he's having headaches, then maybe there is definitely more to that whole theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting.
It has to do with who you're attached to as an Ackerman.
Maybe. Yeah, headaches are gone because Irvin's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, well, who do I have next?
They were either because of his Ackerman blood or because Erwin's just a fucking headache.
Kenny having the hangovers. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, Kenny
obviously
having hangovers.
Kenny,
yeah, that's
Kenny
accurate.
essentially very similar to Levi ends up losing his attachment to his essentially his his buddy, his the founding Titan user Udi,
Yeah.
and yeah, very very interesting.
Dang, I just had a sad thought. After Irvin died, Levi was like, okay, now I protect my closest ally, Hanji.
Yeah.
And then
he lost Hanji.
Then he lost Hanji.
And now who does he protect?
He doesn't have to do it anymore.
Yeah, I know. He's over there and on the
He's
field.
handing out candy, being reminded of that clown that
Lollipops.
freaked him out.
Yeah, Udi has beautiful eyes. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
so
he
beautiful.
does.
In fact, that they're kind of like just creepy.
I know. Like, you can't make eye contact. It's like
Yeah,
when
he
you see
protects
people with
Falco
those
and Gabi.
really, really bright blue eyes. And you're like, I cannot
And
make
then
eye
how
contact with you.
in the span of his life, like his lifespan, he like ages so dramatically.
I know,
Oh, yeah.
poor guy. Those 13 years really do it to you.
So yeah, Helos isn't real. King Fritz is the one who left the warning, and
You guys
so
are
the
learning
ideology is passed
they're learning
down.
in real time what propaganda is.
Yeah, and so it says Marley didn't stop Eldia, and chance hasn't kept the world from being crushed. It was the king of the walls, Karl Fritz, a man who yearned for peace. That's it. That's all he wanted. He said if Marley grew strong someday and came in force to shatter his peace and seize the founding titan, this is interesting, he would accept it. He believed the sins his people committed were so horrific that they could never be atoned for it. So let's talk about that for a moment. So essentially that, the first part of the story, those 4 Titan warriors who went on to go ahead and take the founding Titan, if they followed through with it, then there wouldn't be any kind of, force that would prevent them from doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
He would have allowed it to happen, and it would have been essentially his way of atoning for what history has now explained to us as far as what the Marlians
what you sow,
of that time had to go ahead and face, right? So in a way, it's like history was somehow repeating itself. So that was kind of interesting to me. And this is coming from a man where we were taught that he truly just lusted over power, and once he got his, the
worst villain, one-dimensional villain.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember, but it might be over in like season 2 or season 3, but it was very much early on. It was a while ago where we did that. I think that list, that ranking, top 10 like worst characters. And I think it was during the holidays. We're talking about giving Cole.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, who deserves Cole?
And then I think King Fritz was number 1. King Fritz
was like number 1. We're like, oh, that dude, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, he's the shittiest person, this and that, and all that. And again.
Hey, Jameer, eat our kids or whatever.
Yeah. Craziness.
But
do we know? Is that now? Does that story change
now
as
is
well?
that real?
Now,
well, that's how the walls came to be.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
And he says that Levi now has to protect Falco and Gabi because in the manga it shows Falco and Gabi pushing him around in his wheelchair. That's kind of cute. He has like a new little Eren and Armin.
Yeah. Jacob said, my drug is friends. I want to be friends with everyone.
Everyone's addicted to something.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a vice.
Friendship.
Mine is friendship.
It's interesting though that when he talks about the sins of his people were so horrific that they can never be atoned for. In that moment, we see Kenny Ackerman and Udi, right? Udi Rice.
Yes.
That is so weird to me to have that kind of callback.
Yeah,
those two characters, because we understand that was like. Not that Udi wasn't explaining, certain things to Kenny, but obviously Udi was withholding information to Kenny.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I don't have a actual kind of like reasoning why that scene was shown to us in that moment, but continuing in the final part here, it says, when the day retribution finally comes, I will accept it. But until then, let me enjoy this walled paradise, free from strife, ask for nothing but a brief span of peace. Those were the final words that the king left. Doesn't sound like a guy who's deserves coal.
Yeah.
Maybe we were wrong.
Sounds like a pretty cool dude.
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe we were wrong.
He sounds kind of chill, not gonna lie.
No wonder the Eldians went and followed this guy over to the island.
I know.
He's like, wait, the king's leaving? Let's go with him.
I know. Let's follow that dude.
Interesting. And
maybe that's why Ymir was in love with him.
Maybe.
She saw a soft side.
Yeah. So essentially people now, upon hearing this information, they're all having their own conversations with each other. They're kind of just really flabbergasted. They don't understand what the hell's going on. One of the brass members asked General Calvi, so like essentially, what do you think? What do we do? And people are just trying to realize this. And then Willy leaves them with this, or I should say we leave you with this in this episode. It says that is true. Essentially, to secure our own safety, talking about the Tiber family.
Yeah.
They joined hands with King Fritz, became heroes to the world, while our fellow Eldians became devils. But put plainly, we Tibers are petty thieves. They have been pretty much living off of a fake honor that they didn't even deserve, right? This is interesting
Very
because
commendable to say.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, he's atoning for his own actions and stuff. And even if this is something that maybe he obviously was born into, he's trying to go ahead and break that cycle. And we talked about wanting to see characters more. And again, Willy was, I think, the most voted or whatever. And so this is another way to be interesting to go ahead and see that guilt that Willy is living with over at home. Because this is something I can't think that
How's that affected him and his family?
Suddenly had this epiphany and he's like, I have to do this. No, like, I think this is something that he's probably been dealing with. Obviously, there again the memories, and maybe the memories have been happening in such a rush and such a way where it's been like just kind of like really causing distress,
just really overwhelming,
and just being exactly that overwhelming feeling of guilt. And you're like, I can't live like this anymore. I have to do something. Yeah, exactly. So
let's gather everyone together. I don't care if I die, but I just need to leave atoning my sins.
Yeah. I just got to get this off my chest real quick, guys.
Yeah,
exactly. And then, so again, the warriors have gone dark, and Theo Magath is like, all right, well,
go find them.
Let's do this. He goes, like, let's track them down. right? And we'll find out what happens next week. And again, thank you guys so much for sticking around with us. We appreciate the engagement we got over in chat. We know that
you guys are so awesome.
Been going on a little longer than usual. I think the past 2 weeks, we've kind of just been pushing that 2-hour mark. And what are we on right now? 2.5.
We're around 2 hours.
Wait.
Okay, cool. So we're kind of on pace here.
Yeah, we're at 209 on the dot.
Awesome. But
Too bad.
Jacob, don't tell Kyron to name his child Oduo.
Yeah.
So with that being said, guys,
Thank you guys for sticking around.
final thoughts, anything you want to talk about? Anybody in chat have any final thoughts as far as the truth that has been revealed by Willy Tiber? I'm even at a point where I'm like, fuck, like everything that I know about the king is that just fake too now?
It was
I know. Now I don't believe anything.
Yeah, I'm like, did he not literally force feed his daughters to go and eat their own mother?
Yeah, to eat. Yeah.
Now there's no trusted source.
Now it's like, wait, hold on. Now I need to go ahead and somehow inherit a Titan to go ahead and get the real memories as far as what that'll happen.
I don't think you want that burden, man.
No, I don't. I definitely don't.
You really don't.
If I can't handle social media, then I definitely don't want.
I know.
I don't want the burden of all the freaking predecessors
I'm good.
spamming me in my brain about like, hey, we need you to remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this.
It's like Google head jar or like Google header job. Just doodle.
I know.
Oh, hell
Just
no.
constant. It's like
Get a sidebar at one point.
Can I get an ad blocker? What do I do
It'd be crazy.
for my brain?
But yeah, that's all we got for you guys. It seems like as far as anything, final thoughts, maybe we'll have more next week when we get more information. And Zach will continue on with the incredible speech that Mr. Willy Tiber gives. And also, can we give another hand, Lex, please, for Zach for this episode and giving us that performance. And shout out to the king. So Eddie asked, so
He said, so the king who enslaved Ymir is Fritz? Yeah, and the king that went to the island is also Fritz. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all King Fritz. Seems like he's lived many lifetimes, but no.
King Carl Fritz.
Yeah, Carl with a K.
He is the main king that we essentially are aware of. And there is the royal family, and then there appears at some point where the royal family that we're familiar with is the Rice family. And in order to get more information on that, just look up like a family tree or something. I know we've done it before in the past, but it's a lot. Yeah. Eddie says not like Carl's Jr., right? Maybe that king. I don't know. Maybe
Burger King.
Yeah. Maybe no, that wouldn't work out. I was gonna go ahead and say like maybe the points of the Mr. Carl Jr. guy indicates all the walls, but it's not enough walls.
Yeah, there's not enough.
Unless that fourth point is the wall to his heart.
That's what it is.
You know, seems to be a nice guy.
Seems to be like a pretty cool guy, actually.
He's pretty all right to me.
We should invite him on the podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Shows up blindfolded.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I see everything enough. I don't need to see more.
There you go. All right, guys. But again, huge thanks for just all the support. And let's go ahead and let's give a hand for Kyron. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yes, Kyron.
Kyron, this is all applause of support. This is all applause of love. And,
Congrats.
and we're so happy for you again, man. And yeah, excited for what's to come. And
I wish you good health.
My bouncing baby boy is having a child of his own.
Yeah, incredible. And that second part, just
Awesome
news, man. So
Eddie says I'm genuinely laughing behind my screen. Nah, I really do enjoy hanging with you guys. And yes, Kyron, we wish you the
that's
best.
so great. Yeah, honestly,
W. Kyron.
one thing I'm very proud of what this podcast has become is just been a community of love and support, and
Love hanging out with you guys.
a community of loyalty, and those
That's
are
pretty
all
true.
incredible traits that I absolutely love. And you guys are incredible. I mean, we love you guys so much. And again, this is our weekly book club that we're able to go ahead and do together.
This is our fan club.
Attack on Bible study.
Yeah, this is our weekly where we go ahead and we tithe together as we give our time and our not money, but we give our support over to this incredible story
Our love.
of AOT.
empathy.
We give our hearts to the cause.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Give your hearts.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's beautiful, guys. Honestly, I always just think about it, and I'm sure you guys can tell literally as whenever we close the podcast, but like whenever I think about you guys and the support that you've given us, and I think about what this podcast has become,
It's unreal.
I am at a loss for words, and all I can only say, and I say it so many times, is just thank you, thank you, thank you. Really.
Love you guys. Appreciate you.
You guys have really meant so much to our lives, and
you guys have been a part of our lives for a while
years now
too.
Yeah.
you know what's funny too is that Zebra Cakes recently went down a little bit of the rabbit hole of the podcast and started looking over at our much earlier episodes and over on YouTube. And
we have evolved.
just to go ahead and talk about the journey, man, I go through literally like just phases of just different looks, different facial hair, different style, different and
aesthetic switches. And just like, you know.
yeah, and I mean, you guys have been here with us through all of the beards and stashes and
yeah, the many looks of AJ,
many looks and
the many haircuts of Lexi, the many hair colors of Zach.
and you know what, again,
Eddie says 3 years, almost 4.
We're almost there.
And Jacob says 2 years for me.
yeah
That's crazy, man.
yeah
To many more.
To many, many more. As long as Attack on Titan keeps being Attack on Titan, we'll be here.
yeah.
We vibing.
Which means if Attack on Titan ever ends with content, we're done.
Then we have a time limit.
I know.
No, I'm kidding.
Clock's ticking.
Eddie says, you guys are consistent. Something I'm still striving for.
Gotta
Dude,
be,
it's
bro.
because of you guys, genuinely.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before.
Before we lose it, Jacob
Please,
says, I
fuck
really
no.
love... Before we lose it, Jacob says, I really love the Bible verses at the end, by the way.
Yeah, it's something that Zach has brought us over in the podcast.
Brought to you by Yappy.
Yeah.
And I know we've gone
Not
on
sponsored.
on
Not sponsored.
different episodes, different past episodes where we've kind of gone a little bit more, you know, spiritual in moments. But the Bible verses have been very, very lovely, and some of them have been kind of weirdly on point with whatever it is we're
they're
talking about.
context.
Interesting.
But as far as something that Lexi, of course, was alluding to, and we've talked about before on the podcast, with consistency, it really is because of you guys. Like, if you guys weren't a part of this, we would have stopped a long time ago.
Yeah.
The fact that you guys join us and stick around and hang out with us,
for sure.
and that's why we do it. I mean, we love you guys so much, and we just really appreciate just that engagement that we have with you guys. You know, that friendship that we all have, and being able to just go ahead and hang out with all of you guys on a weekly basis. And I know there's times where, you know, we've had like, you know, moments where we are on a little hiatus of whatever the case is and stuff, you know, we'll be gone like a week, 2 weeks sometimes, but we're consistent because you guys are consistent.
Yeah.
You guys
I mean,
show up.
That's pretty much what that is.
It's something that where Eddie's talking about,
show
like
out.
something that I'm still striving for. Like you all have shown such incredible consistency with us. And it's something that I, of course, am just so appreciative of. We all are just so at a loss for, because I don't want to speak for, you know, Zach or Lex, but like there's times where I think to myself, like, and maybe it's just that kind of like, I don't know, that pessimistic mindset that I can tend to have sometimes, but I'm like, I feel so honored. It's like, why me? You know? Why do you decide to go ahead and choose and stick around with us, and where we go ahead and literally talk about a story and do voices and this and that, you know? I'm like, it's so crazy, but I am just so honored and I'm just so grateful, and
Yeah.
and
Just
I
grateful
remember
is the ultimate word.
the thing is,
Started off as a Yap outlet is now so much more.
I know.
And you know, I don't want
Look at us.
you guys to ever lose sight that when you guys talk about you guys, this and this, you know, the podcast isn't just us that you see on the screen. The podcast is also you guys behind the screens. You guys
You
on the
guys are
screen here in
also
chat.
on the screen. You're literally right there.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
like,
exactly. And so you guys are very much a part of this podcast, and you guys are a big part of this podcast. And even the ones, I know I can't see you guys,
Yeah.
but the ones that watch, the ones that listen,
Yeah,
And
on
these
other
episodes
platforms and
are-
I'll
everything
stare
are-
intently at them right
are
now.
awesome.
you guys are a part of this.
Do it. Say hi.
You guys are
Say hi now.
what
Be a first time chatter.
helps us carry on, and it's awesome whenever we get just like random new messages from, you know, people who support us that we weren't even aware of.
Or like comments and stuff too. Like that's really cool.
So
Interacting with the Q&A and the polls.
from the bottom of our
Shout out
hearts,
Kirkland Allen.
thank you. Exactly. You know, it's been nice, you know, this past year to go ahead and get some new messages from new friends and showing, you know, their supports to us and all that. Even Blue, who I don't know if you can hear, but Blue's just been crying over behind the door
Blue's been
of
wanting
this podcast
to hang out with us.
Whiny baby.
and he loves the podcast so much that he wants to constantly be involved in the podcast.
Yeah, every week he does this
Yeah.
as if he doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And then when he's in here for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and he's like, all right, I want to leave.
Like, I'm
Leaves.
over it.
And then he cries to come back in. I'm like, no, dude, you know what's happening. We're just sitting here talking. Like, no one's going to give you attention. And he just really wants to be in here with us.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Every
many
week.
people that are involved with this podcast, and again, I want to give a huge shout out to NatePlaysBad, who also is a part of this podcast, who helps us get the episodes available to all of you. I myself have gone on record to say that I am not tech savvy at all.
I'm not either.
And we're limited with our resources that we have here. We go ahead and we have our things that we do throughout the week, and Nate is again a big part of this podcast, and again, shout out to Nate. Thank you so much for
Shout out to Nate. Thank you.
Love you, baby, bro.
And then even just thinking about too, like our friend Aaron, who has created the logo that we have that you see here, that literally like this logo. You see that? Mm-hmm.
It's right there above AJ's head. AJ, there's a logo above you.
This logo is always here above, watching over me. This logo was created by the amazing and talented Aaron. Yeah. Our friend Aaron.
She's cool.
Not Jaeger.
So like there's so many people that have become a part of this podcast, and I don't know, I just think about like just how grateful we all are. So with that being said, guys, make sure you guys go ahead and keep an eye out over on the Instagram. If by chance you don't follow, please follow us over on Attack the Talk podcast on Instagram for all of your updates.
Yes, we're very active on there.
We will most certainly try to come up with a poll question or a Q&A this week. Maybe we can come up with a fun one. We went on to go ahead and talk about a lot of different things. And Eddie, thank you so much. Jacob, thank you so much. Eddie had some questions as well, but Jacob, thank you so much for the questions that you were asking us as we're talking about the story.
It.
And truthfully, I want you guys to ask questions.
Yes.
I'm like
more, bro.
You know how when teachers go ahead and they say, please ask questions. Like that's us here. Like we're here, we're talking about this story and we're learning together. Like ask questions, because whenever you ask questions and we have to go ahead and think about it and try to come up with an answer, we are like teaching ourselves.
Get involved in class.
There you go.
Just get involved in AOT class.
Yeah.
Eddie says, I love that there's no ego involved on you guys. Something that I find extremely attractive personally.
Yeah. Again.
Devoid of all ego, he says.
There's no ego here. I want to say something, but I don't know if it's necessarily something that we have talked about on the podcast, but AOT concert. Eddie, you joining us?
Eddie, what's going on?
He's joining us. Yeah, he texted me.
Okay.
He texted me, he DM'd me. He was like, you guys, you tell him about my master plan?
Yeah, hell yeah.
No,
So
it's being concocted.
Yeah,
it
so
is.
We're just finding out.
We're gonna get him an answer.
We're just finding out some stuff on our end, but we have to decide on the day, and we have to see who's all going.
We're going.
We're going. It's for sure. Like we're all going.
Yeah,
Eddie's
we're all going.
We're gonna go to.
And it's just like I said, there's gonna be maybe potentially additional people that might go, may or may not go, but we have to decide on the day and all that. But point being, Eddie, I'm excited to go ahead and meet you, man, and you'll see that like what you see here on the screen. That's who we are, man.
It's the same thing. You're not getting nothing different.
Yeah. So huge shout out, and we appreciate you, man. You've been a part of this podcast for a long time, and
it's about damn time, bro.
Oh man, so it isn't letting me come across what I want to say.
Autocorrect, man. I get it. Don't worry. We figure it out. We figure it out here.
Yeah, for sure.
We've known you for long enough.
Alrighty.
You know what you mean.
But again, guys, go ahead and check that link tree over in the bio over on the Instagram. Look out for those Q&As and those poll questions. All the good stuff, guys. And again, just in closing, again, you guys are incredible. I love you guys so much. Your support means the world to us, and just forever grateful. However long this podcast goes, again, just the ride that we're all taking together, it's something that I'm just like so dang like happy just to be a part of.
Yeah.
So I love you guys so much. This is AJ signing off, saying I hope you guys have a great week. Spread the love and positivity, Love, love, hate, hate. Love you guys. And I'm out here. Bye, guys.
Jacob says code Oduo because he's the leader of the Levi squad. He wishes.
He wants to be the leader.
He does. He does.
Wants to look like the leader.
But this is Lexi signing out. I'm going to leave you guys with some good news that I forgot to share earlier. Is that I had my 6-month evaluation at my job today, and it was pretty much 5 minutes of just me getting complimented on my work, and I'm now a permanent employee.
Hey, probation period over.
Now, probation period over. Now it's hard to fire me.
There you go. This is like first thing to do. Take time off.
I know.
Yep.
No, I thought that they were going to be like, you've taken a lot of days off, but no, it was really great. He like wrote a whole excerpt on how Lexi's really great. She
Back secured.
Back secured.
Back secured indeed.
Yay! No, I know. I told one of my friends about it, and she was like, "Yay! Now give her a raise." I was like, "Yeah."
No, that's so cool.
But yeah, really, really cool. It was really fun. He was just like complimenting my work, and I'm kind of good at this job.
That's awesome. Definitely well-deserved, Lex.
Kind of like what I do.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Can you get that applause for yourself?
That's all I got. That was a total accident.
Nice.
Oh yeah, Lex. It's awesome. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you.
So next time we go ahead and order our like lunch or dinner type thing, what we got.
You're buying for me because I earned it.
Lunch is on Lex.
That's what you were gonna say. He's buying it for me because I earned it.
Yeah, because that's how
Anyways,
it works.
this is Lex signing off, and love you guys. I'll see you next week.
Cool. We'll end it off with this. 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here. Love you guys. Bugs don't serve grasshoppers. Good night.
Am I weird in thinking that also does not literally